through portions of these tax measures as introduced in the bills before us, Mr. Speaker, as is in these bills, Mr. Speaker. But sadly, Mr. Speaker, it will interest you to note that if you are to read this budget statement, what is captured in this bill is not exactly what is here. So until you read the bills before us, you will not appreciate the taxes they are introducing. So, Speaker, I will take time and take you through them. So, Speaker, this government is imposing a VAT on financial services. You are imposing a VAT on financial services. So, Speaker, let me remind colleagues that this is the same NPP that in opposition, announced to the people of Ghana that when given the opportunity, they will remove VAT on financial services. So, Speaker, they removed same in the first 100 days. Today, the VAT on financial services is back. The country is in serious crisis. Our debt situation is getting out of hand.
Other paper addendum 2, we have presentation of papers, a number of to
the 2024 financial year. Let me, for the umpteenth time, restate, for the avoidance of doubt, that at this stage of the consideration of the matter before us, the House should be debating the principles underpinning the budget and the economic policy of government, not the allocation of funds contained in appendix sections. Mr. Speaker, at this stage, just as is done at the second reading of a bill, we are discussing the principles and policy underpinning the budget. But, Mr. Speaker, before I take a dive into the substantive matter, it is important to quickly respond to the ranking member of finance who last year spent considerable time that by next year at this time, he will be sincere to himself and to his conscience. He will be eating humble pie on Ken Ofori-Atta. The finance from 4.3% recorded in the first half of 2022 to 6.3% over the same period in 2023.
Annual statement by the Audit Committee of the Accra Metropolitan.
Honorable members, item 2.
I believe that the nays had it, respectfully so.
And we are asked to do a head count under order 1132. Yes, Majority Leader.
Yes, Speaker. The voice note. The voice call that you made and the decision that you have arrived at in pronouncing that the ayes have it. The Speaker is clear and loud. And I believe that this indeed is an abuse of the processes and procedures in this House. The Speaker, this is a colossal abuse of the processes and procedures. Mr. Speaker, I believe that this should not be entertained at all. It's wanton abuse of the processes and procedures of this House.
Mr. Speaker, the application before you is very lame. We cannot proceed on Order 1133. Mr. Speaker, for the avoidance of doubt, the applicant was clear in his words and the order upon which he relied on to make the application. Mr. Speaker, the order reads, a member may call for a head count or division if the opinion of Mr. Speaker on the voice vote is challenged. There is a predicate procedure of challenge. Nobody has challenged. Mr. Speaker, it's clear. Let's read. Let's read the law. Nobody has challenged the ruling. There must be a challenge first, upon which you mount the second application. You cannot. Mr. Speaker, we know the rules of this House. If he's coming, he should come clear. 1132. You can only call for a voice vote and call for a head count when there is an initial application challenging the voice vote. You cannot just get up. You cannot just get up and say that you are relying on Order 113. 113 what? If you want to invoke the rules, invoke them properly. I'm a Kofi Boa. Mr. Speaker, I contend that there is no such application before you challenging the voice vote. The applicant was on a secondary mission. The primary step, which will be part of this House's parliamentary jurisprudence, must be met. I'm a Kofi Boa. I'm talking about the law. I'm talking about the rules. I won't say you got it wrong. You want to mislead, Mr. Speaker. We won't allow you to mislead, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, your ruling has not been challenged. Mr. Speaker, your ruling has not been challenged. It stands, and if anybody wants to challenge your ruling, he knows what to do. Mr. Speaker, there is nothing before you. We can't proceed to do a head count when there is no primary application challenging the voice vote. Mr. Speaker, I therefore submit that secondary step that he is urging on you to proceed on is neither here nor there. Mr. Speaker,
of this nature, you are an expert in this country, and not only this country, international. Mr. Speaker, is the deputy majority leader saying that you erred in acknowledging the application before you? Mr. Speaker, may I refer him to Order 98? Mr. Speaker, your ruling is not subject to debate. Mr. Speaker, an application has been made and you acknowledge it, that your ruling has been challenged by a voice vote has been challenged, and we are calling for a head count. You are majority. Why you are afraid of head count? Mr. Speaker, I know the deputy majority that is buying time. He doesn't have the numbers. Mr. Speaker, when a referee goes to the park and a team refuses to come, he declares the man and award the points to the team that is available. If they are not ready, Mr. Speaker, acknowledge the fact that an application before you calls for the head count, and let's proceed. You are majority. What are you afraid of? We know we are minority. We are calling for a head count. Why are you running away? Mr. Speaker, let's proceed and ignore him.
The Speaker put the question. I heard the yes, and I also heard the no's. Because there was some drumming, I thought that has interfered into the no's. So I put the question again. Listening to both the yes and the no's, I said, I think the yes have it. Now, my thinking has been challenged by the deputy minority leader. And he was right in challenging my thinking, and so referred to the standing orders. And he's right in referring to that standing order. And so what is left to the Speaker is to go by the standing orders and ask for a head count. The Speaker hadn't really ruled, because I said, I think the yes have it. Now, when that is challenged, then you have to go through the rules.
Mr. Speaker, let me thank you for the opportunity. Mr. Speaker, you rightly and legally appropriately put the question on the vote of the economic policy and budget. Mr. Speaker, subsequently, the Deputy Leader, the Honorable Amabua, drew your attention to Order 113(2). But even for our emphasis, and the Leader of Government Business, Mr. Speaker, I'm surprised he is challenging you. In Order 113, Mr. Speaker, you are vested with discretion to yourself declare a head count. It is within your powers. Mr. Speaker, Mr. Speaker, Mr. Speaker, Mr. Speaker, it is within the in Order 1131. And Mr. Speaker, I will go the full hall on this matter. I will go the full hall on this matter. Mr. Speaker, Order 1131. Mr. Speaker, Order 1131. Order 1131 reads, when the question has been put by the Speaker, at the conclusion of the debate, the vote shall be taken by voices. Yeah.
Mr. Speaker, with the greatest respect. And then quoted Order 1132.
Mr. Speaker, the four of them were not here. If at any time, and they are still not here, so as we begin, if they come, because they are not part of the
count. Table office, let's start the head count.
Mr. Speaker, with the greatest respect, what kind of confusion do you want to introduce in this house? What kind of confusion do you want to introduce in this house? You have said by five of head count.
But who has called? Well, Majority Leader. 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 Well, Majority Leader.
Mr. Speaker, we have heard you on your pronouncement that you think the ayes have it.
You don't have the floor, Apenyo, you don't have the floor.
You said
You don't have the floor.
Mr. Speaker,
You don't have the
if
floor.
you want to entertain,
You don't have the floor.
for a head count,
You don't have the floor. You don't have the
put
floor.
head count on their side since they are challenging.
You don't have the floor.
You know the bill.
You don't have the floor. You don't have the floor.
And we are leaving the chamber for them. Yes, we are leaving the chamber for you. Now do the head count and see whether you have the knowledge to overturn Mr. Speaker's ruling. Let them
What are you waiting for? Out, out.
You are running away from your own budget. You are running away, running away. Nobody is chasing you. You are running away. Why are you running away? Sit down. Sit down. You run away from your own budget. You run away from your own budget.
We just seen what happened in the House. The debate had concluded with the minority leader winding up for and on behalf of the minority, and I also coming in to wind up for and on behalf of the majority. When we finished, what
for this, as you can see, we are all here. We just the bell is ringing, which means that the chamber is just coming back to sitting. But I think we've just witnessed a situation where the minority leader gave their closing statements, majority also did, and then I had some concluding remarks. At the end of the day, the speaker put it to vote twice, actually.
Ladies and gentlemen, today the MPP has been defeated. The MPP has been defeated in a grand style. In fact, this is the second time this NPP has run away from their own budget. Second time in the history of Ghana. Sensing defeat. We have got them and we'll get them again another day. The fact remains that the MPP does not have the numbers to approve their own budget. And you bear us witnesses. You are here. You saw what happened. Everyone knows that the NDC members of parliament were ready to vote against the budget. For good reason. For a very good reason. And we outlined as part of our concluding remarks why we are against this particular budget. Our position is simple. We cannot allow this budget to go through in its current form because the ordinary Ghanaian will be the one who will suffer.
I am not naive to assume that I am coming to stop corruption. There is no way I can stop corruption. God himself will not even acclaim to that. But I am going to make corruption very costly. Very, very costly to engage in terms of conflict of interest. First, I'm going to institute what I call pressure for progress. And in this quest, there will be a systemic review of all public agencies. What was the word you... I said I have termed it pressure for progress. Pressure for progress. Yes. Very well. I thought it was a Latin word you spoke. I didn't get it out. I'm going to institute systemic reviews of public sector institutions and the development of integrity plans. And here, this is what I intend to do. Why can't we have our own corruption perceptions index, for instance? Why can't I rank public sector agencies against each other? And at the end of the year, publicize the results as to which institution is performing well and which institution is not performing well. In that quest, if you are head of an institution and persistently your institution is drawing the short straw in terms of the perception of corruption, from the point of view of experts, from the point of view of business people, you will set up.
So, Chairman, just to, I'm happy you stated that you used to teach conflict of the laws and law of contract. Now, you know the evidential rule, burden of proof, particularly in criminal jurisprudence, proof beyond reasonable doubt. Do you share the view that we should criminalize unexplained wealth in Ghana? Do you share the view that we should criminalize unexplained wealth in Ghana?
It is a bit too, Honorable Chair, it is a bit too overbroad to state unexplained wealth. In criminal jurisprudence, legal criminal constructs should be more pointed, more focused, and clearly delineated because of the specter of someone ending up in jail, losing his liberty, or being fined heftily for an amount. And so if we are to place it in proper context, unexplained wealth, I would say that if the person cannot reasonably explain as matched against his lawful income the amount of money in question, then that aspect, in my opinion, should be criminalized. But if you can reasonably explain how you came about that amount of money, then that should be allowable, that should be acceptable. So in your context, unexplained wealth would be reasonable explanation of the source of that property, wealth, or funds.
Chairman, just to take that nominee, I appreciate your response to it. If you take the United Kingdom today, where Ghana largely borrowed its legal system, largely, they now, for purposes of combating economic crime and fighting corruption, have what they call a reverse burden of proof, that the onus must shift, that when those assets cannot be explained for, an irrebuttable presumption is that they are acquired illegally, fraudulently, it may be taking advantage of the state and its resources. So they now go for a reverse burden of proof. Will you subscribe to that for Ghana in our quest, our collective quest to fight corruption? Thank you, Chair.
Honorable Chair, I'll link it to my answer to the first question. Also pointing out that criminal constructs are very, very dangerous if not well thought out. A reverse onus clause, as the honorable member rightly put it, puts the burden on the accused person to explain explain one way or the other the charge against him, rather than the prosecution bearing the burden of proving his guilt.
What is the difference between the ordinary thief and a political thief? Number one, the ordinary thief steals your money, your bag, your watch, and your jewelry, isn't it? But the political thief steals your future, your career, your education, your health, and your business. Number two, the hilarious part is that the ordinary thief will choose whom to rob. But you are the one who choose the political thief to rob you. Because we choose them. We vote them. We blindly say we are not blind. Who is deceiving who? The ridiculous part of the whole issue is that we will fight to defend and protect our belongings from the ordinary thief. Is it not? But we fight each other to defend and protect the political thief. Is that not what we do? Thugs will be fighting themselves to protect those that are stealing our career, stealing our job, stealing our health, stealing our success. What a shame.
If you reach a certain stage in life and there is nobody who can look you in the eye and tell you the truth, you are doomed. And that is where our country has gotten to. We need to rescue this country. Wallahi. And I feel very terrible as a Ghanaian at this time. This country is in serious trouble, ladies and gentlemen. We are in serious trouble. We need to rescue this country, ladies and gentlemen. The presidency has been so depraved, so muddied, so dirtied, that I tell you in all sincerity as a Ghanaian, that I feel terribly sad today as a Ghanaian. We need to rescue this country. Wallahi. Inshallah.
Please don't cry.
We shall rescue our country.
Government is broke, government is broke. The people are spending billions to go inside the government that is broke. Have you ever seen a minister who resigned because government is broke before? Government has no money. Have you ever seen a governor who said, ladies and gentlemen, when I was elected, I thought the government had money. Now I discover government has no money, I resign. Have you ever seen it? Government has no money, but they are bringing money out at election time. Where is that money coming from? So they are lying. What is happening is that there are two types of wicked people in government. Type 1, they eat current money. Any money they find in government, they will eat it. They are wicked about that one. There is type 2. Type 2, they eat current money and future money. They will say, my term will end next year. When I leave, how will I eat money? Let me borrow money now and borrow money of the future and eat it now.
Right, hello, good morning, and welcome to the show. This is Good Morning Ghana live on Metro TV. This is a Thursday, the 30th day of November 2023. By His grace, we're live and we're here. We're at another edition of the show. Our gratitude to go to Most High God for the rare privilege of being alive and, of course, the opportunity of having another conversation around the top stories making the rounds here in our dear Republic. I'll let you into our panel for the morning's conversation shortly. But let's take a look at the front pages of our newspapers. Daily Graphic, OSP bears teeth, probes state land sales and payrolls. Majority stages walkout in Parliament for a budget debate. State agencies save $30 million from Ghana card merger. And there's a special supplement on Farmers' Day. Ghanaian Times, drama in Parliament. Majority walks out ahead of budget approval. Accuses Speaker of playing to minority gallery. VIP plans street to mark Accra 2023 100-day countdown. La General Hospital will be completed on schedule. Finance Minister assures some court decisions against OSP regressive and dismissive. Kisi Ajabin, Daily Guide. Majority walks out on Speaker over 2024 budget. NDC supporters vandalize party headquarters. Rebecca graduates 70 women in skills training. OSP cries over judicial losses. Baumia launches 2023 African Games countdown. The New Crusading Guide. Baumia launches 100-day countdown to Accra 2023 African Games. Education Minister commended over prospectus harmonization. Kabori Group appeals for support to improve education in Ganoth. APC Sasan Yariga fights Mahama and NDC for plagiarizing its 24-hour economic policy. Judicial Service builds capacity of court registrars. 2 Ghanaian business owners busted with 600 kilograms of cocaine at Tema Port. The Insight. Isaac Adongo, he accuses Minister of cooking Ghana's economic figures. Huge diplomatic row as Israel accuses Spanish, Belgian prime ministers of supporting terrorism. Frimpong Boateng punches Akufo-Addo over corruption, Galamsey and others. Accra District Hospital under Agenda 111 to be completed by March 2024. DCE discloses Emmanuel Boateng honored as most respected CEO in human resource consultancy. The Inquisitor, Bantama politics gets dirty. Evil against Asensu Boachi falls flat. YPYC founder is the best youth CEO. Anger at GRA. Dr. Prempeh salutes Menchia South farmers. The Daily Statesman. 6 new stadia ready for commissioning. Baumia launches 100-day countdown to 2023 African Games. President rallies global support for cybercrime fight. Gabi Otredako, West must show more commitment to fossil fuel transition. NMC petitions NCA to take Onua TV and Onua FM off air. Business Finder. IPPs on life support over $2.3 billion debt, threatening potential power supply crisis. US to support development of Ghana's digital economy. Confucian rocks 2024 budget approval. Daily Post. Mahama saves babies at Dodua Hospital, donates incubators, phototherapy machines, and CPAPs on birthday. It's laughable, bogus to credit Bawumia when government achieves something but showed him when there are difficulties. Dr. Asa Asante. We are facing doom. OSP warns against dismissive court rulings on corruption cases. Second tranche of $3 billion IMF cash in limbo. Atu forcing. And that's about it for the front pages. We'll be back shortly.
Pascal is showing his boss the efficient new technology they've installed. She is pleased, but now she's asking, why is that still there? Pascal explains that he hired a security guard to protect the data shed. The boss is not so pleased anymore. If you haven't upgraded to cloud storage yet, it's time to get business done better with MTN Business.
Mommy.
Michelle say, fe.
Different era, better result. Time has changed and time has brought Kel Chocolate Toothpaste. Healthy gums, anti-cavity, fresher breath, and it whitens teeth. Kel Chocolate Toothpaste. Sankofa.
Yenchi. Kel Chocolate Toothpaste.
Happy smile.
This advert is FDA approved.
Ready for something refreshing and great tasting? For your kids' enjoyment?
Angel Cola.
For your graduation enjoyment?
Angel Cola.
Beach hangout?
Angel Cola.
For all your refreshing moments?
Angel Cola.
For your parties, get-togethers, events, and celebrations, enjoy a chilled bottle of Angel Cola. Radio Grandma, today is your day. Over to you.
Thank you.
Enjoyment Cola.
Angel Cola.
The Enjoyment Cola. Enjoy all your moments and fun time with Angel Cola. This advert is FDA approved.
Enjoy the fruits of your labor, they say, but as humans, aging and physical infirmity stands our way of enjoying our mansions and homes. It often becomes challenging, if not impossible, to use our stairways day in, day out. With portable American pneumatic vacuum elevators, PVs, you are assured of unlimited enjoyment of your mansions and homes. It's a self-supported elevator for vertical movement of humans and goods at homes and offices. The original comes in 3 custom-made models with wheelchair accessibility. Call it luxury, but it's a necessary imperative for vertical mobility. Do not let aging or infirmity limit you. Get one for your easy vertical mobility at home. It's affordable and can be installed in just 3 days without modification to your existing building. It's however easier to incorporate it at the construction stage. We also have traditional Fuji elevators and escalators for your high-rise buildings and malls. Visit Lifts and Elevators Company Limited at Sakumono for your elevators nationwide. For free consultation to call or WhatsApp us on 0200-535-515. Lifts and Elevators, the elevator people.
In life, choice is good, but choice plus safety is way better.
Your safety and comfort is paramount. Under the cylinder recirculation model, you can buy LPG in a safe environment. All cylinders are inspected and maintained to the best safety standards, so your safety is assured. Just take your empty cylinder to the nearest exchange point and swap it for a filled cylinder. Different cylinder sizes will be available to meet your pocket size. Imagine cooking in a smoke-free environment. This will improve the health and well-being of you and your family. Choose LPG in a safer model of distribution. Cylinder recirculation model. Securing your safety. Creating more jobs. A message from the National Petroleum Authority under the patronage of the Ministry of Energy.
We are back bringing you the latest lineup from Betway. Betway starts strong with their front two with Free Play Friday and Swipe Bet. In the middle, you've got all the control with Cash Out and Build a Bet. Plus, with Win Boost, you can boost your sports bets. At the back, they have Smart Picks and the Partial Daily Jackpot. You always get way more with Betway. As you can see.
These adverts have been vetted and approved.
Hey, give it to me! Hey, man! Stop! Enough you guys, so continue.
Prepare yourself to unleash even more moolah by staking from 1 Ghana cedi to 350 Ghana cedis. And you could win 26 times your stake on the exciting new Pick 1 game from Game Park. Play by dialing *946# on all networks via our website or download the Game Park app on www.gameparkgames.com. Choose your Pick 1 number from 1 to 36. Place your stake and watch our live draws on Adum TV at 9 a.m., 12 p.m. and 6 p.m. daily.
Hey, live life like me with Game Park. Game Park, more moolah, more power.
This game is regulated by the National Lottery Authority, not for persons under 18. Play responsibly.
Bano Hisense air conditioner. You will more who do be brave. The ultimate siho. And the other brother when you know. Hisense air condition kwa. And our 4-in-1 filter system. And also na buame see from a fin coin. The other brother you 1.5, 2.0 and a 2.5. The other siho no so you 4.5 and a 2.5. Air condition be anywhere chilly chain Hisense air condition. Aye papa. And changing them kania. A check na buono so dafong. Yeah, the gold plated fence and the copper pipes, papa pie dimu, and the air conditions. And yet the day into my baby sunny beer when you want some and one hot talk. Hisense and kwa and about 5 years manufacturer defect warranty. So air conditioner open kwa dia. I say and no one Hisense. Hisense. Everyday prices for everyday people.
Masanabo, Masanaba. Say, you see, you call cashless. Say, cashless here. You say, you can be a wish in your office. You see, the power up or back. And also, another your BBR. Set up auto credit. Set up auto credit to know what you should. So, what problem be a person using for after he answer overcome power up. So, and one on better was be up. So, only smartphone and money how. And there's only data and so and it's new will bring. And one said, who when your young phone. Oh, sorry. Who when your phone. No one direct *226#. You are through there. You see the power up no mobile money, Visa card, MasterCard, a BHP here. You let me see you see the power up. But what to show a down some. Ne simple pa.
Right, welcome back to the show. If you just joined us, this is Good Morning Ghana live on Metro TV. With me on the show this morning, I have the CEO of the National Insurance Authority, Dr. Bernard Oku-Boy. He's also the former Member of Parliament for the Lejokuku constituency, and he's expressed the strongest desire to go back for that seat. Doc, good morning. Am I right?
You want to no go company hello. So far,
that's one of the votes in your constituency.
These are outside primaries vote. These are his primaries.
Okay.
So I've not talked to him yet.
When are your primaries?
Saturday now.
Huh?
Oh.
What's it?
What's it?
Your primaries on Saturday?
Yeah.
Okay, we'll come back to that. We'll be also with me on the show as a constituent in the Lejokuku constituency. I don't know if he votes there, but when the cameras pan on him, you would see what he's representing and what it is all about. He's a legal practitioner and also the National Communications Officer of the NDC. And it says 247E. 247E. And so that's Sammy Jemfi 247E. When did this come out?
I believe this morning.
Is a 24-hour working political
I tell you.
I like that. That's true.
Hey,
that's true.
Maybe a 24-hour economy they do this.
Oh, the 24-hour economy is a lifestyle. And the earlier we...
Just as a way of life.
It's a way of life. The earlier we inculcate that in us, the better, because it has come to stay. The good people of Ghana have embraced it. It's the new Asian town. Everybody is talking about it, wanting to know more, wanting to understand it. And this is all part of the sensitization campaign.
I see.
To drum home the point, to help our brothers like Dr. Kuboy, who understand the policy because of where they have schooled, where they have stayed, where they send their children and their family to, for healthcare and all that. But for cheap political goal scoring are pretending and not to understand the policy. So, Doc,
did you ever play football?
I have your copies there. I'll make sure you have it when we are done with the show.
247E.
Yeah, and I have one for you too.
You want Dr.
Your constituents, you need to help them to understand how Lejokuku is going to customize the 24-hour economy and help the young people there.
Did you put floodlights at the AstroTurf attention?
To get jobs.
Did you put floodlights? Yeah. So it's a 24-hour field.
In fact, that area operates a 24-hour economy.
All right, so Sabi will come back to the 24-hour economy. But it's your premise on Saturday.
Yeah.
2nd December. Really?
Yeah.
Okay. And you are not going unopposed?
We have 3.
3 others?
Yes. So we are 4.
Whoa.
Yeah. But when you've gone for election, this is the 3rd election I'm participating in.
Okay.
After doing it for some time, you know what is necessary.
Okay.
So you leave out the non-essentials, like talking plenty outside and all that. As for primaries, it's always about the delegates.
Okay.
So I've been dedicated.
How many delegates involved?
I have about 1,800 delegates.
Whoa.
It's one of the biggest in the country.
1,008 times. Okay. So what's the rate card for Lejokuku? So the presidential primaries was 400 and 300.
All I know is that the delegates want a 24-hour attention.
And that's what you are giving them.
That's what I'm trying to do. In fact, between now and the time they declare the results, the whole place will operate a 24-hour economy.
Okay.
Okay. So we'll discuss it for economy. It's something that leads to it.
Okay.
So we need more of those things.
But what are your chances, really?
Oh, I'm trusting God for victory. I know the others are also working very hard, but I've been putting my message across to the delegates. And it's a message.
You're a young man. Yeah. You are a medical practitioner. I mean, as young as you are, you've practiced medicine for about 10 years, right?
I've done about 13 years.
Yes, okay. So, I mean, despite a relatively young age, you've been a medical doctor for 13 years. You are still schooling. You are not satisfied. You got the opportunity of going to Parliament. You were made deputy minister. After one term, they did not renew your mandate. Quite a lot of people were disappointed because the truth of the matter is that I think you cut across. I see people who are not even on your side who admire you and all that. So sometimes they get a bit disturbed when some of the things go on. But what's motivating you to want to go again?
Yeah.
I mean, you gave it your all. They didn't renew your mandate. Why don't you just move on and focus on your life?
Look, you know, they say that the voice of the people is the voice of God.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and sometimes God has a way of talking to people. Looking at the investments I made in the community and what happened, I suspect God wanted them to have a feel of both sides in terms of leadership. And
like what God has done to Ghanaians.
Oh, for now we are discussing primaries, so let's focus.
All right, okay.
You know, and when I walk along the streets in the community, sometimes I just take a stroll. If 10 cars stop, usually most cars I will pass, every 1 or 2 cars will stop. The first question is, Doc, are you coming back?
Oh.
And then when I go like, it's in God's hands, they go like, that is, why do you say that? You have to come back. And so when most of your people are telling you, you ought to come back.
But you need to be careful, though, because people are going to Tema, all those places go through your constituency. Oh. So they might not necessarily be.
but for them to know me
yes.
And you know, speak to the community, it's, you know, God has a way of speaking to us.
Right.
And for me, I'm not the kind of person that will go into a contest and it's like do or die, or is this or never. No. If it is will, it will happen. You know, and
but you give it your best shot.
Yes, so that when I'm done, I know that I did what was humanly possible. And secondly, I suspect some projects which are hanging, sort of have hanged.
Uncompleted.
Yes, since I left. You know, the small learnings I've had in government is that you need to work a lot. Look, whether your government is there or not, the way the system runs, you have to push it. So, in fact, you have to push it so much that sometimes you have to even push public officers. You know, like I remember roads, Doc, sometimes you have to have a rapport with the roads minister, the chief director, the director of finance at the roads ministry, and also know the guy who is in charge of surveying and urban roads, because the one who has to do your drawings, sometimes there are other drawings in front of them. So the point I'm making is that immediately you get this idea, it's sad to see things that you've pushed try to stop. You know, and I'm happy that something like this AstroTurf, that one, because it's not a government project, even outside office, I was able to follow. And if you speak to Coman, the kind of things we've gone through, the two of us, to get it to materialize, it tells you that projects just don't happen and they must be followed. The same with the others. And I suspect one more term is sufficient to let those things consolidate. That is the motivation. I don't know. It might look similar to JM, especially when he also wants to do one more term, but it's a different one.
Well, I think that the similarity is in God allowing something just to show people.
Why you cannot be choosing the similarities?
Yeah, okay. I hear you. But why would 3 people want to contest you?
You know, when Christ was on the earth, the biggest competition was from Nazareth.
Okay. From his own people?
Yes.
Okay.
Because sometimes some don't understand what is happening. Because they know where you are coming from.
Okay. All right. So let's see how your 24/7 campaign and your 24-hour economy for the primaries will help you.
Absolutely.
All right. Okay. Sammy? Let's talk about why you are dressed the way you are.
Well, look, a very good morning to our cherished viewers. It is very clear that this country will have to, once and for all, address the foundation of the biggest challenge we are confronted with as a people. Which challenge is a challenge of high unemployment. That high unemployment, we are told, is currently the biggest threat to our security and stability as a country. That is the seriousness, of this whole issue about jobs and our solution, of a 24-hour economy. The reality we find ourselves in is that the vast majority of our well-enabled, young people, 15 years and above, some of whom are skilled, others well-educated, don't have any hope of getting decent, well-paying jobs or any job at all in the kind of economy we have. In the last 7 years, we've seen the rate of unemployment increase astronomically. According to the Ghana Living Standards Survey 7 conducted in 2016 to 2017, the unemployment rate of Ghana for 2016 stood at 8.4%. Look, as we speak, the unemployment rate is hovering around 14%. And in fact, that is even figures for September 2022. We are yet to be updated by the Ghana Statistical Service for 2023. I'm sure the figure has gone up, If you look at even youth unemployment, it has increased from about 21% to 32% youth unemployment. And so this is a very big problem that we are confronted with. All these young people idling around with no job, no hope, no means of catering for themselves and their families, and no hope of ever realizing their dreams, It's a threat. We all know that it is a bomb waiting to implode one day if care is not taken and if this problem of high unemployment is not addressed once and for all. And that is why we, as the largest political party in the country, the largest opposition party currently, have come up with a strategy that we believe can help the nation address this problem significantly, once and for all. Because we cannot continue, to do the same things over and over again and expect to see different results. We need to think outside the box, come up with innovative policies and strategies that can give us the results we have not gotten all these years. And so when we talk about 24-hour economy, when you see us wearing, polo shirts like this and caps like this, we are talking about a policy or a strategy which is going to be a deliberate government intervention to encourage and support companies and businesses to operate 24/7 in Ghana. Ideally in 3 shifts of 8 hours each. That is what we are talking about. We are not talking about a chance event. We are not talking about a chance event that businesses who think they can make money or make profits by operating 24/7 are free to do so. So we are leaving you to your own fate. Do as you please. No, this is not a chance event. We are talking about a deliberate policy intervention which is going to make this 24/7 economy we are talking about a reality. And we've said the main driver of this strategy of 24-hour economy is the vision of John Dramani Mahama to create sustainable, well-paying jobs for the good people of this country. During his first term, the focus was on infrastructure development. Even though we did well in job creation as well, the priority was infrastructure development. But His Excellency John Dramani Mahama has stated clearly that when he gets the opportunity, inshallah, on the 7th of December 2024, to rule this country again, the direction would be, this time around, the priority will be on the creation of sustainable jobs. And he has told us how he intends to create these jobs. He's spoken about the modernization and mechanization of agriculture, for example, so that we can attract the youth investments into that sector. He has spoken about support for the private sector so that they can play their role as the engine of growth in this economy. So the issue of tax incentives, tax rebates, and so on, he's spoken about that extensively. He has also spoken about the need for value addition, the need for us to invest as a country in agro-processing and in manufacturing. That is not to say that in times past we have not done that. But here we are talking about taking agro-processing and manufacturing to another level, to a level never seen in the history of this country, where strategic investments will be made in various geographical zones of this country to boost production through the modernization and mechanization of agricultural produce, and to add value through agro-processing and manufacturing, what have you, for import substitution and for exports. We have the capacity, we can do it. Other countries like us, or other countries who are not even as privileged as us, have been able to do this. And Ghana should be able to do this with the right leadership, with the right strategies and policies. So he has spoken about all these things, his vision to transform Ghana into an import substitution and export-led economy and so on, and through that create sustainable jobs. But Doc, what we are saying is that all these policies, all these strategies which we intend to roll out when we get the opportunity to govern this country again, to create the sustainable jobs I'm talking about, will not be operating on an 8-hour shift. We want all of these measures, all of these interventions, all of these policies, be it in the area of manufacturing or agro-processing and what have you, to operate 24/7. Because a work schedule of 8 hours is too limited. It's marks of laziness. It's marks of unproductiveness. That God will give us 24 hours in a day, and we will choose to use only 8 hours for work and use 16 hours for, sleeping. And even the 8 hours, there are a lot of, there's a great deal of, unproductivity in that. People hardly go to work on time these days, and they hardly close when they are supposed to close, especially in the public sector. And so this is what the 24-hour economy is all about. And because a lot of people are interested, in the policy, they've asked questions about how we are going to implement this. What are the industries we have in mind? What exactly will government do to support and encourage the industries we are targeting to operate 24/7? How is this whole thing going to be implemented? How will people be able to take advantage of it? And so on and so forth. And that is why we've taken the time to publish what I'm holding in my hands. Thank you for giving us a copy. Thanks to your producer, Annie. The 24-hour economy, frequently asked questions and answers. Now, Doc, let me make it clear that this document is not a policy. Neither is it a strategy. The title is clear. Yesterday I saw the MPP rep on the show, Sly, trying to be mischievous about it. It's clear. This is not a policy. It is a document that tries to provide answers to frequently asked questions on the 24-hour economy. And so one of the questions has been that what industries will this 24-hour economy focus on? And if you look at point 3 of the document, we address that. We've said that The 24-hour economy will primarily, but not exclusively, focus on 24-hour agro-processing. That is number one on the list, agro-processing. Agro-processing, we're talking about processing of our cashew, our tomato, our cocoa, our share, our sugar cane, and so on. Agro-processing. 24-hour pharmaceutical industry. Under the Exwa Mahama regime, we provided stimulus package of over $25 million for that industry, and that revolutionized the industry. Today, the capacity of that local pharmaceutical industry has been enlarged owing to that singular act of His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, such that the companies that benefited from the package, the NS Chemists, the Danny Adams, the Tobinkos, and the rest, now have a bigger capacity to produce a lot of the medication we use in this country, not only for domestic consumption, but even for exports. And we think that that sector has the potential and the capacity to run 24/7 if the right enabling environment is created for them, for government. We've spoken about 24-hour manufacturing, especially the manufacturing of household goods. We've spoken about 24-hour construction, like we see anytime we travel outside the country, where we see major construction works or even maintenance, road maintenance works being done in the night. We believe that our companies here have the capacity, and if the right enabling environment and support is provided, we can have construction companies operating 24/7. We're speaking about a 24-hour extractive industry. Here, what we have in mind is the mining industry and the quarrying industry. Already, there are a few mining companies operating 24/7 without any intervention by government supporting these, companies. What we aim to do is to get a lot more of these companies operating 24/7 by creating the necessary enabling environment. 24-hour sanitation and waste management, talking about the cleaning of our streets, our communities in the night. 24-hour digital startups and business process outsourcing. This will allow, young people well-versed in IT to work for companies across the globe, from Ghana. It is one of the reasons why John Mahama built Accra Digital Center, which currently operates 8 hours, and which has the capacity to currently host, 10,000 young people at a go, working for various businesses and companies across the world from Ghana. And we are saying that if we get Accra Digital Center to operate 24/7, we will be able to increase the capacity to 20,000 or to 30,000. That is it. And the $3 billion ICT, investments in ICT that John Dramani Mahama has spoken about will further open new opportunities in the IT world for young people to be able to work round the clock and make, good wages for that. We've also spoken about 24-hour financial services, because if you are going to have a 24-hour economy, then financial institutions, including banks and so on, some of them will have to have 24-hour services. 24-hour retail centers, 24-hour transportation services, and even for public institutions. We've said that there are certain public institutions which must run 24 hours because of demand for better services, for more efficient services by the populace. If you go to these institutions, you see a huge traffic, you see huge queues that these institutions are not able to meet in a timely manner, and that affects productivity. That even affects revenue mobilization by the state. If we can get these institutions to operate 24/7, we will be doing a lot of good to the citizens of this country, the people of this country, in terms of giving them better and more efficient services. And we'll be doing a lot of good for the state in terms of raising revenue, promoting productivity, and so on. And we've spoken about, for example, ports and harbors. I've heard people say, currently the ports operate 24/7. Not wholly true. The ports had always operated on an 8-hour shift. It was His Excellency John Dramani Mahama who decided to expand the Tema port through a PPP arrangement, which has now birthed what we have, or what we call the Meridian Port Services Terminal, the MPS Terminal, and which terminal today has made our Tema port the second largest port in the whole of West Africa. Now, That terminal operates 24/7, but the section of the work at Tema Port that is handled by the Ghana Ports and Harbour Authority doesn't operate 24/7. They start at 8 and close at 5. The Takoradi Port doesn't operate 24/7. Even for MPS, that as a result of the vision of the nation builder John Dramani Mahama today is operating 24/7, has a lot of challenges, because you know that customs don't operate 24/7, and the financial institutions don't operate 24/7. So there are many things that people seek to do at the MPS terminal on a daily basis in the nights, especially, which becomes challenging for them. So to have our ports and harbors operating 24/7 is something that will be new. It will be an improvement of what President Mahama started. And here we are talking about not just Tema, but we are even talking about Takoradi and so on. And we are saying that if the ports and harbors will be operating 24/7, then customs should be operating 24/7, and then financial institutions should be operating 24/7 to really give meaning to this policy intervention. We've spoken about the passport office, we've spoken about DVLA and all that. And when you mention these public institutions, there are some who say that, but now there is online application for passports and so on. By the way, let me indicate that the online application for passports, contrary to what our friends in the MPP have been saying, is a brainchild and the legacy of His Excellency John Dramani Mahama. Specifically, the online passport application system was introduced in 2014 under the leadership of the then Foreign Affairs Minister, Honorable Hannah Tete. And so we are very much aware of that because it is our legacy. However, an application for a passport is just one component of the process of getting a passport. The processing of the passport application is very important. And so you can apply for the passport in the confines of your home, even in the night. But because those who are supposed to process it work on an 8-hour shift and close by 5, that is why till date you need to wait for weeks, and in some cases months, before you get your passport. Even the printing of the passport booklet for you can be a challenge. So it's not just about the application, it's about having these institutions operating around the clock so that they can fast-track processing, printing, and provide better services to the good people of this country. And this clearly will be tied to productivity and revenue mobilization, because the more applications you're able to process and deliver, the more revenue the state gets. Again, we have said that the 24-hour economy will be implemented in the context of other development initiatives that the next NDC Mahama government, inshallah, will be implementing. And we are looking at areas of health, areas of education, affordable housing, transportation, even in the area of justice delivery, where currently you have our costs choked to the brim. Yet these courts operate morning by 5 p.m., sometimes even 4:30 they've closed and all that. If we can, in the medium term, get some of these institutions to operate 24/7, it will help citizens of this country get better services from the government. And so one may ask, what then is the NDC Mahama administration going to do differently to enable all these industries I have outlined operate 24/7? Very simple. We've said, number one, we are going to provide any company that participates in the 24-hour economy strategy cheaper and reliable electricity. Cheaper and reliable electricity. How are we going to do that? We're saying we're going to introduce something called the time of use tariff, first of its kind in Ghana. What it simply means is that you will be made to pay for electricity based on the day of the week and the time of the day you consume the power. And so we realize that during off-peak hours, when the nation goes to sleep, a lot of power goes waste. And that is what brings up the issue of excess capacity. We have our power plants producing the power, but we have very few entities consuming that power. And yet that is power government must pay for. And so if you have a 24/7 economy, then that power will not be going waste, because there will be activity in the night to consume that power and to pay relatively cheaper prices. And some say, okay, but then how will you be able to clear the debts in the energy sector? To get something for that power which is already going waste is better than getting nothing. And so that is why a 24-hour economy is imperative, because now you're going to have activities, commercial activities in the night booming. We're going to be consuming that power which is going waste, because this government is totally clueless. They don't know how to put that power to use. We will put it to use by having companies operating 24/7. We'll give them time of use tariffs by installing modern smart meters, which will be calibrated to charge them lesser tariffs during off-peak hours. It's as simple as that. The meter will be calibrated to charge you a lesser tariff during off-peak hours. Then somebody says that, oh, people are going to abuse it. They are going to take advantage of it. Doc, I'm sure you've gotten that question a lot. So they are just going to structure their operations in such a way that they won't work during the day, but they work in the night to benefit from the time of use tariff. Well, what I have to say to that is that for every policy you introduce, people will try to take advantage of it. People will try to abuse it. There will be challenges. There is no challenge-free policy. Even for the tax incentives we provide businesses in this country. Doc, haven't you seen businesses using tax incentives for purposes, contrary to the objects of the tax incentives? So human beings will always try to take advantage of systems like this. And that is why you need proper monitoring, proper evaluation, proper regulation and enforcement to ensure compliance. And so when we talk about a 24-hour economy, it's not just going to be a slogan out there like some people came and told us one day, Ghana beyond aid. No, you're going to have institutions which will be in charge of the regulation of this policy and ensure compliance and enforcement. And in this day and age of IT, it's very, very easy to calibrate these modern smart meters, which will be deployed for the time of use tariff system, to check such abuses. So that if during the day you are consuming 5 kilowatts hour of power, but during the night you're consuming 50 kilowatts, clearly the system will flag it, because the system can be calibrated to detect such abuses or such cases of people wanting to take advantage of that. It is very easy to do that even with the current modern smart meters we have. We've spoken about tax incentives to reduce the cost of operation of these businesses, because we have local businesses here, even foreign businesses here, who have the capacity to produce to meet domestic demand and ensure import substitution. And by doing that, reduce the pressure on our currency, improve our reserves, create jobs, and so on. However, they are unable to do so because of the high cost of their operation, which makes them uncompetitive, which makes their prices comparatively higher than the imports, the cheaper and in some cases subsidized imports they have to compete again. So by using tax incentives, significant tax incentives for these strategic industries, we will be able to reduce significantly their cost of doing business, and they will be able to be competitive, not only in the Ghana context, but even in the continental, sub-regional, and international context. We've also spoken about financing support for certain strategic businesses to help them operate 24/7. Because if some of these companies are to meet domestic demand, they cannot do it alone. They cannot do it with just credit from our financial institutions. Knowing the high cost of credit, government must intervene. And it is for this reason that His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, before he left office in 2016, passed the Ghana Export-Import Back Bill, where we consolidated funds like the EDIF and so on, and decided that these funds should be channeled into the promotion of exports, production, not just for the domestic economy, but for exports. And some of these funds will be deployed to support these businesses. So once businesses are getting cheaper power and reliable power, once they are getting significant tax incentives, once they are getting financing support from the Exim Bank and other vehicles or platforms that we will be putting in place, and once they are operating especially in an atmosphere of security and safety, we are sure that we will have a lot of companies and businesses running 24/7 in 3 shifts, and through that there will be more jobs. Like President Mahama said, Kwaku may get a job in the morning, but Kwejo is likely to get a job on an evening shift, and Amma is likely to get a job on a night shift. And Doc, anytime we have provided, this, I'll be wrapping up. Anytime we have provided these explanations, some have asked that, already in the existing 8-hour schedule, there are a lot of inefficiencies. What will we do about that? That is something that only applies to the public sector, not the private sector, really. And we have said that we will be passing a new Employment Act, which will be implemented side by side with the Labor Act. And as part of that, we will be putting in place measures to root out the age-long practices in our public sector that militate against productivity. So discipline is something we're going to promote, and productivity is something we're going to take very seriously, even in the already existing 8-hour cycle. Finally, some have said that would a policy be compulsory? No, it will not be compulsory. No economic policy in the nature of a 24-hour economy is made compulsory. It is voluntary. The policy blueprint will be out there, put it out.
When?
You see, so 2 levels. First of all, the policy blueprints for the 24-hour economy strategy, okay, or let me say this blueprints, let me use the right words. The blueprint for the 24-hour economy strategy will be put out before the 2024 election. That is after the launch of our manifesto. Okay. However, the implementation blueprints for the policy can only be put out after you have won power. And that implementation framework will have to take, or will have to, have the inputs of various stakeholders like organized labor, like AGI, like the Ghana National Chamber of Commerce, and so on. You need all their inputs. Federation
of Labor. When will you launch your manifesto?
The manifesto will be launched early next year.
Because it looks like quite a number of people have expressed an interest in seeing the policy document so that they can critique it properly.
Sure. Yeah. Criticisms, constructive criticisms are important, not criticisms about people who have their wives cheating on them because they'll be working 24/7, not comical, criticisms like that. But constructive criticisms are welcome. President Mahama is open to that, and we will take all that on board, especially in the implementation blueprint, which will only be introduced after we have won power. And finally, Doc, some have said that if you are not going to make it compulsory, then you are leaving out the private sector. No, that is not it. These are rational businesses and companies, rational entities. They are in business to make profit. They have, over the years, been calling for government to introduce something like this to enhance their capacity and their competitiveness, to reduce their cost and all that. So they are happy to embrace it. And that is why already some of them are endorsing the policy, saying that it's a game changer and all that. So it's voluntary because you have to apply, and we need to put in place the right measures to ensure that you qualify, and if you qualify, even to comply with a governing law for the policy and all that, because you cannot employ the same set of people and get them to work 24/7. That would be against the law. The law will ensure that people don't work beyond 8 hours. And if for some reason they have to work beyond 8 hours, those conditions will be clearly spelled out in the law. And the overtime you must pay them will be clearly spelled out in the law. And that overtime will be so high that you wouldn't want to abuse the system by just employing a few people, for more than 8 hours, and all that. So all these things are things we have carefully thought about. And finally, those who say that, it is already being done in Ghana. That is not true. As we speak, you can talk about some businesses and companies who operate in the night or even operate 24/7 on their own without any deliberate policy intervention by the government to support them. So when we talk about our 24-hour economy, like Mr. Price said yesterday, it's not a night economy. And it is not a chance event where just people will just work in the night without any policy intervention from government. This will be the first time that Ghana will have a policy intervention in line with our 40-year development plan to support companies and businesses that operate 24/7 with cheaper power and reliable power, with tax intensive, with financing support, with security support and so on. This would be the first of its kind.
Okay.
So it does not exist. And finally, Doc, finally, this is my last finally. For those who say that the policy will be difficult because of the issue of demand, the market, we need to think about the market, demand and all that. Look, when I hear some of these things, I laugh. Because I ask myself, what demand are you talking about here? You are an economy that imports over 90% of the things you consume. Go and look at the top 10 items we import in this country and tell me whether we don't have the capacity to produce these things. The problem is not about the demand is already there. That is why day in, day out, businesses import these things into the country. They get finished, they go again and import, and people are buying on a daily basis. The demand is there. The reason is that our businesses are not able to be competitive. They are not able to operate at a competitive cost and produce at a good comparative cost. So in competition with the cheaper imports, they lose out, even in the domestic market. And they have no chance of success even in the export market. Whether you are looking at the WTO market or the AFTA market, they are not able because the cost of production is too much. So if the cost of doing business can be reduced, and businesses in Ghana can produce at a comparative cost, the existing demand for rice, the existing demand for sugar, the existing demand for tin tomato, the existing demand for toothpaste, the existing demand for refrigerators, for microwaves will absorb what they produce.
All right.
That is it. And that is what the 24-hour economy is all about. This is something Sydney is doing, London is doing it, UK is doing it, America is doing it, even in Africa. Kenya is thinking of doing it. They've captured it in their Agenda 2030, even Kenya.
All right.
And so it is something we can do. It is very possible. The naysayers and the political Jeremiahs who don't have any policies can continue to ridicule it, but the young people who are yearning for decent, well-paying jobs know that this is hope for them.
Right.
And they can trust the honest, visionary nation builder, His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, to deliver on this. Thank you.
All right. Okay. So the founder and leader of the APC, Honorable Hassan Yariga, he says you should send him the polo shirt and cap. You should send him.
I'll get him one. But okay. I heard him hold a press conference saying that we've stolen his policy, or we've adopted. That was the word he used. Okay. We've not adopted his policy. The policy was first announced by the NDC. The policy was captured. Anybody should go and read page 232 to 233 of the 40-year development plan that we prepared under the leadership of John Mahama when we had the likes of Dr. Nimoy Thompson heading the National Development Planning Commission. It is there, page 232, 233. So when people say you've not thought through it, you know, they don't know what they are talking about. When you go and look at the 40-year development plan, it is there. And this is something which was even captured in our 2020 People's Manifesto. We did not, you know, really amplify it well, so some people might not have heard of it. But the facts are very, very clear.
Okay, so it says you sent
I'll get him one in different colors, so you shouldn't worry at all.
All right. Okay, so imagine getting rewarded for doing something you already do every single day. Sounds too good to be true, right? Well, that's exactly what Momo season is all about. There is something for everyone. Download the Momo app on Play Store, App Store, and use Momo Pay for your day-to-day transactions. So a merchant either through the QR code or merchant ID and stand a chance of winning 1,000 Ghana cedis weekly and other amazing prizes. Our merchants are also not left out of the reward. Receive payments and win. Keep using your Momo Pay on the Momo app and get rewarded. There are lots and lots of exciting prizes for everyone. So what are we doing today? Transact more with Momo Pay and more points and win big this Momo season. Visit momomerchantapplication.mtn.com.gh for your Momo for business account today. It's Momo season, so just Momo it with Momo Pay. Terms and conditions apply. And Kel Kids toothpaste is flavored with strawberry, and it gives a perfect taste for kids and makes them develop a personal attitude and love for brushing their teeth always. Kel Kids toothpaste protects child's gum, prevents cavities, and makes their teeth strong and healthy with freshness all day. Kel Kids toothpaste is recommended for children between the ages of 2 and 6 and is a product from Samara Company Limited, producers of Sasso, and is approved by the Food and Drugs Authority. Kel Kids, happy smile. And Well, we know the pains of climbing the stairs, especially when you're not deliberately exercising. And that could be a challenge irrespective of your age. But you need not worry anymore, because lift and elevators have got you covered with the best portable American pneumatic vacuum elevators on the market today. It's a simple self-supported elevator for both homes and offices. And guess what? You can lift your goods too. Wheelchairs can fit in, and they come in 3 custom-made models. It's affordable and can be installed within 3 days. Visit Lift and Elevators at Sakuman, or just call them on 0200-535-515 or send a mail to elevatorsgh@gmail.com for consultations and the best solutions in easy vertical movements. All right. Now, if you're looking for a place where you can get quality, alternative medical treatment, then it is Amen Alternative Medical Hospital. It's one of the best alternative medicine hospitals in Ghana today. So for all your health consultations, counseling, physiotherapy, and homeopathic medicine, Amen Alternative Medical Hospital has the best for you. It's the first to modernize herbal and homeopathy medicine in Ghana. They have the best medical practitioners from KNUST with the state-of-the-art medical equipment curated for your need. The most obscure ailments can be diagnosed and taken care of. Amen Alternative Medical Hospital is at Klagon on the Lashibi Ashaman Road near the Underbridge, and they are open from 7 a.m. to 5 p.m. Mondays to Saturdays and 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. on Sundays. You can reach them on 0207-229-505 or 0244-227-192 to book your appointment. Amen Alternative Medical Hospital, God is the healer. Now, we need to take a break before we hear Dr. Okuboy on Beyond Lejokuku 24-hour economy. But let me say a big happy 50th birthday to a friend and brother of mine, Nicholas Tamaklo, popularly known as Tiklo. You are 50 today, and this is a friend who has warned me that I shouldn't show his picture. Otherwise, he will invoke the gods of his Tamaklo family against me. So, Tiklo, Nicholas Tamaklo, you are 50 today. Happy birthday to you. And Ebenezer Fosuyale, today is your birthday. Happy birthday. And the Honorable Giselle Atete, MP for Ewutu Senya West, today is also your birthday. So happy birthday, Nicholas Tamaklo, at 50. Happy birthday, Ebenezer Fosuyale. And happy birthday, Honorable Giselle Atete, MP Ewutu Senya West. We'll be back shortly.
So many styles to choose, but there's only one sure way to MTN.
Good afternoon, Mr. Ambedu.
Good afternoon, Mr. Asari.
How is business doing?
My business is collapsing.
Why is your business collapsing?
I sold my products and services to my clients on credit, and my debtors are not paying their debts.
Have you heard of Rosic Consult Limited, a debt recovery company operating in all the 16 regions of Ghana?
Not at all.
Mr. Ampedu, all you need to do is to contact them on their customer service line. I recommend Rosic managers. You are assured of swift debt recovery. No recovery, no commission. For Rosic Consult Limited, no more write-offs. And we pre-finance the recovery ourselves.
Enjoy the fruits of your labor, they say. But as humans, aging and physical infirmity stands our way of enjoying our mansions and homes. It often becomes challenging, if not impossible, to use our stairways day in, day out. With portable American pneumatic vacuum elevators, PVs, you are assured of unlimited enjoyment of your mansions and homes. It's a self-supported elevator for vertical movement of humans and goods at homes and offices. The original comes in 3 custom-made models with wheelchair accessibility. Call it luxury, but it's a necessary imperative for vertical mobility. Do not let aging or infirmity limit you. Get one for your easy vertical mobility at home. It's affordable and can be installed in just 3 days without modification to your existing building. It's however easier to incorporate it at the construction stage. We also have traditional Fuji elevators and escalators for your high-rise buildings and malls. Visit Lifts and Elevators Company Limited at Sakumono for your elevators nationwide. For free consultation to call or WhatsApp us on 0200-535-515. Lifts and elevators, the elevator people.
Everybody knows Acrobato. And if you know Acrobato, it means you know M-Punch Homeopathic Clinic. M-Punch Homeopathic Clinic is my pillar. Let's hear what others are saying about M-Punch Homeopathic Clinic. Who will be careful M-Punch one?
Chese na me ankasa me period na se problems wom tina ma wo ho idea ma me papa chese na nya asem ketewa na me coin point no mo hwe me modem no mo he bibia na so mo medu me fire no ene ma won kra me nu hofo kwa na mkwan mu a eba and everything yourself
me ma me no adwodwo eda ho a wontumi nante ene ne ko end point o mama nu a ene ne ho idea watimi asori anante.
That's end point for you. Of Acrobato. Hello. Ohwehwe what che okay a free bra wo di end point wa dance am me call you no me Joseph Sema na nkoye e paso na maye me nyina na magina sebema na me be for there e ho na nyina jaresa. You heard everything. I have secret. M-Punch is my secret. M-Punch Homeopathic Clinic. I'm free.
Discover the perfect blend of quality, modern elegance and affordability with Kingdom Home Real Estate. At Kingdom Home Real Estate, we cater to both local and international clients, offering exceptional housing options in Ebri and Ekropong. Our properties are conveniently located, providing a tranquil atmosphere, top-notch security, and essential amenities such as electricity, water, and backup generators. Our strategic locations offer easy access to popular tourist destinations, all within a 30-minute drive from Accra. Visit us in Ekropon right after the Latte Junction or in Ebri near the Ebri Girls Senior High School. Alternatively, you can reach us Kingdom Home Real Estate, where your dream home becomes a reality.
For over 20 years of serving the world with herbal and alternative medicine, we've been successful in treating complicated medical conditions with a perfect combination of herbal and alternative methods of treatments like homeopathy, naturopathy, reflexology, and many more. We deliver excellent and effective service to people from all walks of life through scientific and traditional means. We have a well-equipped laboratory with advanced diagnostic and treatment devices to help detect your illness, so we know the right medication to be given. At Amen Scientific Herbal and Alternative Medical Hospital, we are proud manufacturers of our own herbal medication. Our zeal and passion to save lives with our patients at heart and outstanding achievements since 1996 has won us several awards. That is why we say, go herbal, go Amen. We are located everywhere in all the regions. Amen Scientific Herbal and Alternative Medical Hospital. Allahu Shafi, God is the He.
To help meet your business and private printing needs successfully, we have just the right products and services. At Appointed Time Printing Limited, we specialize in digital printing, offset printing, packaging and security printing. Our innovative designs and complete professional touch on our print products and printing is the solution.
For over 2 decades, the Ghana Club 100 Awards, powered by GIPC, has honored corporates Ghana for their immense contribution to the country's economy. It's been a story of splendor and prestige, as top 100 businesses are ranked for the outstanding performances in multiple sectors. It's time to celebrate corporate excellence once again at the 20th edition of the Ghana Club 100 Awards. Join us at the Grand Arena, Accra, on December 8th at 6 p.m. prompt. Purchase a standard ticket for 1,000 Ghana cedis and 2,000 cedis VIP by simply dialing *365*2100#. Ticket partner Koba. This event is sponsored by the KGL Group, B5 Plus, Ecom Ghana, Engine Ghana, Total Energies, Era Group, Enterprise Group, Zondatech, Eris Properties, West Coast Gas Ghana Limited, Federated Commodities, Republic Bank, FBN Bank, Glyco, Ghana Tourism Authority, National Lottery Authority, MNG Pharmaceuticals, Yango, Ghana Gas, VFS Global, Ghana Free Zones Authority, State Interest and Governance Authority, SIGA, Delta Airlines, Stratcon Energy, Margins ID Group, Ronald Motors, Rankin Partner, KPMG, Beverage Partners, Say Cheers, Afro Beverages, Sahara Solis, Blue Nan, Pernod Ricard, Kihok Distilleries, Special Ice, Media Partners. Ghana Club 100, celebrating Ghana's business leaders.
We are back bringing you the latest lineup from Betway. Betway starts strong with their front two with Free Play Friday and Swipe Bet. In the middle, you've got all the control with Cash Out and Build a Bet. Plus, with Win Boost, you can boost your sports bet. At the back, they have Smart Picks and the Partial Daily Jackpot.
You always get way more with Betway.
FC. This advert has been vetted and approved by
Welcome back to the show. If you just joined us, this is Good Morning Ghana live on Metro TV. Still with me on the show, I have Dr. Okoboy and Sammy Jemfi. Doc, I realize you've made some notes. I was trying to read what you've written, but I realized that the way you write prescriptions is the same way you've taken the notes.
Writing is not good. Not good. But the nurses can read.
At the nursing school, are they taught how to read doctors' handwriting?
No, as we work with them with time.
They get to see it.
Yes,
okay.
You deliberately write like that? No, Doc, because you are writing quickly.
But are you taught to write this way in medical
comes
school?
With time.
So how come all doctors write the same way?
Because of the environment, it will come. So when you start a word, just some 2-3 letters show. And then you are at the end. But those looking can see those 3 letters. All right. So let me say a very good morning to all your viewers and to say that I didn't know that you allow KEP and order. I have some nice gears on the digitization of Ghana's economy to allow for this 24-hour stuff from Dr. Baumia. So next time I also dress appropriately. Doc, so I've written here a definition. I've tried to segment the discussion. So what is the definition for the 24-hour? As we've heard from my brother Sammy. They want 3 8-hour shifts. Is that also? So that at some areas or some sectors, so that we know that we are doing 24 hours. They want companies to run for as long as possible. But let me start my intro today with a write-up from Manasseh. I don't know, I think I said it here, I don't know what I remember. Manasseh is one of the people that I am careful to go at, no matter what he writes. And you know why? It's because I've followed him for some time. Anyone who is not materialistic, I cherish those people. I've dealt with him, I've realized that he is not those people who look for worldly things. Look. And so, although it's not perfect, there are things he writes, even in this write-up, there are sections that I don't agree completely. He's someone who expresses, he's one of the few people in this country who expresses frank thoughts. Doc, see what he said? He said, nobody with his or her sanity intact will suggest that they run 24 hours because of a presidential policy. The public sector wage bill is already reported to be responsible for swallowing more than 60% of our annual income, national income. Not even the passport office, with its long queues and backlogs, will operate 24 hours. The problems of inefficiency and poor management and constant shortage of booklets for operating passports do not need a 24-hour shift to fix. He's not saying it cannot happen. You see, he's trying to point to you some of the difficulties that will make it difficult. He said, commuter vehicles at Tema Station will stop working at the same time they stop working now. And the thousands of homeless young, mostly female head porters from northern Ghana would assume their rent-free tenancy of the vast space for the night, and that won't count as 24 hours. In Accra Newtown, the printing presses that have 24-hour shifts based on availability of jobs will continue to do so. Those that don't have jobs won't even be able to complete their 8-hour day shifts. Look, what is Manasseh trying to tell us? Before President Akufo-Addo became president, there are segments of our economy that ran 24 hours. The airport is a classical one. No airport runs 12 hours. Look.
No international airport.
Yes, no international airport runs 12 hours. The harbour, even before MPS, it's not like when you go to the harbour at 8, all of them go home. When you enter, even if they've closed the main gate, when you enter, there are containers being moved and all that. There are places that run 12 hours. Because of the demand, the number of things that pass through the harbour, the service goes on because the demand is there. Takoradi, if you check with those who do imports, the activities that go on Takoradi does not match Tema. So the day their demand will reach Tema, if they are doing 12 hours, they will start moving into the 24-hour duty dock. So before Akufo-Addo became president, you had some segments of Ghana's economy doing 24-hour. When Nana became president, those people didn't stop, like the way Manasseh is saying. Rather, the efforts of the Akufo-Addo government is to make sure that you have more of those segments, Doc, so that it will create opportunities. Now, when Dr. Bawumia started talking about all these digitization drive and all that, a closed ecosystem which allows for 24-hour service online makes businesses run even when their owners are asleep, or makes businesses run even when there are no physical people at their desk. So, a classic example, I have a friend who wanted to travel, and the friend was like, Doc, he wanted some products, and I wanted to send my guys to go and get a product. And someone prompted me like, oh, Doc, go online. When I checked online, all the products had been advertised. That was around 10 p.m. in the office yesterday night. Manche, just the contact, 1-2 emails, all the products being delivered this morning at 8. So the owners were asleep, but their IT infrastructure, the ecosystem they fell into, allowed for activities to happen. Look, modernization always comes with more activities or 24-hour activities as a byproduct or an aftermath. I have heard people who say that, oh, if SNIT, come on, simple analogy, if SNIT has a staff of 4,000 and they close at 5, oh, but catch a 7, make over training from 7 to tomorrow morning. So that instead of 5,000, they will employ 10,000. Those people mean well. They are looking at solving a big problem, which is unemployment, Doc. But that's why I heard somewhere, I don't know whether you can help me. Apparently, someone said somewhere that anyone who wants to lead a nation must know some basic economics. On the surface, it looks like this is a wonderful idea. But an economist will bring your mind to a wage bill, Doc, and show you that if they are coming in the night, what you raise as a revenue must be able to shoulder that wage bill, because your wage bill too will be twice. And that if the evening service will not come and double what you are getting, you have to be careful to employ the same set again. So I know where this 24-hour thing is coming from, because I've heard snippets of the conversation. It has to do with this analogy that if the courts can work after 5 from 8 p.m. to the next day, then if there are 4,000 people in the judiciary service, we can do 8,000. That is a noble, and the intent is noble.
Your 8,000 figure is just hypothetical. But those on 9 shifts need not be the same as those on 10
excellent.
shifts.
But the point I'm making is that the idea is that.
Let me just take notes.
Yes, the idea is that if it's not even 4,000, you will take some people again. Look, yes. Exactly so. So the point I'm making here is that it is the economics that will tell you, come into the details. And Doc, as for because of a PhD, you understand, even when you have a business, after they do modeling for you, they will tell you if you go on this route, it will not be sustainable. You work for 5 years, it will go bust. If you go that route, it is possible to be sustainable. So it is the details that will bring confidence in the practicability of the proposal being made. But I've reminded all viewers that you have some percentage of night activity or 24 hours system in most economies, including Ghana. Every government's project is supposed to improve the percentage. So assuming before Akufo-Addo became president, it was 2% of our economy that was caught up in this 24-hour. Progressively, everybody must work hard to push it into bigger. And I'm happy what Sami gave me has stated the percentages in some countries, Doc. He said United Kingdom has 19%. Germany has 12%, and France has 7%. So even in, and sometimes it's not only about capacity and efficiency, culture is also part. That's why France is lagging behind. There are countries where they will go like, we have to sleep and all that. And by the way, Doc, when you go to Germany, those working what's the word? They don't work 60 hours. They also sleep 60 hours like us. How do you call it? They work 8 hours, and the 16 is for other things. What makes them prosperous is that there is a demand for products that they are involved in, which makes other people in their population go to work in the night. Doc, you understand? It's not the same person working 16 hours. Now, what are the considerations? What are the things you have to consider or ask questions about if you want to see how well someone can push you fast into greater percentages? Now I'm using percentages because, like I said, when Jerry Rawlings was president, we had some night economy. When Atamis was there, the discussion is to propel us into the European percentages. Doc, what are the considerations? The first one is demand. It's the first one. So when you go to Nestle, my friend from class 1, Kobe worked with Nestle. He's now stopped. When Kobe started working at Nestle, sometimes you call me at 12 a.m. Where you planted me. Nestle works 24/7. They have 3 shifts. Look, why are they working 24/7? Because the ideal milk and the things you consume, the market is there. In fact, if for any reason, let me give a hypothetical scenario. If there is some pathogens found in any of Nestle's products, ideal milk, and it kills 1 or 2 people, Doc, and for some reason nobody goes for ideal milk, the plant that is producing ideal milk may shut down, Doc. Although they have staff and they have the infrastructure, immediately the market is threatened, you go back. In the same way, if Nestle were producing 24 hours, and even with that they cannot meet the demand, you know what they will do? They will invest into another plant. So really, the 24-hour thing is not some mythical or mystical concept. It is only a product of a lot of efficiency as a state. And once you are efficient, you are going to get there. And like I said, I remember when Dr. Baumia and Osafo Mafo, I remember they were some of the champions of this paperless sport. We had a few people who came on Asempa. Oh, yeah, one sure, our job will be threatened. This is not good for us. No. Finally, when the paperless came, one agent who deals in cars, Pakofi, one of my guys in the constituency, he said, Doctor, paperless, at 1 a.m. you can wake up. You work on all documents that you have to work on. When you get to the port, they have apparently 1 or 2 procedures, you are gone. So, Doc, it is the infrastructure, the environment that will give birth to all these 24-hour things we're talking about. But there are, Doc, you always have opportunities everywhere in the world, including Ghana. People must take advantage of these opportunities to meet a particular need, and then through the process, they create, business or opportunities for all of us. So, for example, if we are told that billions of dollars of tomato paste, Manche, is imported into this country, not billions of cedis, only one product, tomato, it tells you there is an opportunity there for us as a nation, first of all, to block that pressure on our currency, and secondly of all, to feed the rest of Africa who are also like us, who don't joke with their tomato, Doc. These are the discussions that will make you know that as a Ghanaian, you are just about to experience a transformation in our lives. And so it is the details in the policy. Now, if someone wants to handle the tomato problem, what are some of the challenges? Assuming you have the idea, access to credit, Doc. You need money. It's not small money. First of all, you're looking at the chain. You want to access land. Doc, what is our land issues like? You see, if this country wants to transform and get to the place where now people are working the tomato, there is a chain. In this country, I have met people in Germany, in the States, Doc, they brought money to Ghana, they left land. You get land, 3-4 families come. Oh, what you paid was for my brother led. Me too, I'm part of the family. A country that still has lands given off by small families. And when you take from one family, there is no assurance that nobody will show up, Doc. We are 100 years behind those we are trying to emulate in terms of 24 hours economy. One of my pastors in Germany, Dr. Lamte, he came to build in Winneba also. Doc, he got to roof level. He said when he got to roof, someone came and said, look, this is my land. He told himself, I'm never stepping back in this country. Close to 30 years, he's not come back to this place. We have basic fundamental. Look, you need someone who will say that it's radical. Germany, if you go to US, who told you in US you have to go and see a family in their home to buy land? Look, so these are serious matters. What is the cost of credit in Ghana now? Loan. If we want to transform this country, we should stop fooling ourselves. These are the serious issues. If because of inflation, because of the rate of your central bank policy, I don't want to do too many go back and all that. But before Akufo-Addo now and all that, average lending rates have always been above 20%. Other countries are doing 3-4. How can you compete? Let me now move from access to credit. Let's assume even you've jumped that head, Manche, you've gotten a credit. You want to bring machinery. Recently, I heard that some members of our friends in opposition said, waiver Manche, no. Waiver for some companies. Look, I've read a book on South Korea. Sanema Weko. Their situation was similar to us in the 50s after the Korean War. Look, their people, their level of illiteracy, look, almost everything the same. Read about their General Park, the leader who transformed South Korea. Look, deliberate policy. For 5 years, they make a law that says that this is the tomato value chain law. Look, the country invests in scientists to research on the seeds to plant. Manche, seeds to plant. Why the seeds? The kind of seed you plant is what determines whether they will buy the Burkina tomato or the Ghana tomato. Manche, basics. So the researcher becomes your first target. He gives you 3 different breeds of seeds. And then access to land, you go and plant, Manche. The first thing that will follow is the road from the tomato farms to the place where you are going to have your factories that will add value. Look, deliberate policy. So that if your government has budget for roads, you don't just go anywhere doing roads. You connect the farm to the city. And when the factory is now done processing the tomato, it is also connected to the harbor. When you put these things in place, you don't need to declare 24-hour economy. You see it unfolding before your eyes. Look, I'm waiting for leaders who will start putting on these things. These things will get some of us excited. The details. Why can't we have one railway? Doc, Manche, what you are Doc, you leave the whole Ghana. I feel come from just Ghana to Kumasi. Doc, where you can go at 12 a.m. You stand at the track where you enter the train. And when you enter, Doc, in Nigeria and Kenya, they've done some connecting some cities. I'm talking modern coach. Doc, only one. And the chain of people who work in these things, who works at a railway, one that is modernized and goes home at 5 p.m. Manche. Look, we can choose. Let's choose the sectors. Choose tomato if you want. Look, Ukraine, Doc. See Ukraine, where these countries, they feed half of the world with grains. Abele, Doc, Abele. Why can't we say that Ghana, in the next 5 years, we would chase Ukraine out of that position? I hope you get what I'm saying, Manche. So, these are the details. Sami, excite me with these details. Tell me sectors and places where you want to do some deliberate investments, government intervention, creating an environment. Look, we want this country to be better off. Before Akufo-Addo became president, this point is very necessary, Doc. The biggest problem in this country, when Mahama was there, before Nana became president, was unemployment. It was a national security risk. In fact, that's why our manifesto focused on jobs. If today, Sami tells me the biggest problem is still unemployment, and unfortunately, it's still GM who is coming, then these details are necessary. Let's have the discussions so that it will bring some confidence that the problem which existed before Nana, assuming that means that is still there, this time something is about to happen which will lead us there. I am not a kind who will say that a policy is not possible. No. I mean, I don't work in that realm. Everything that you think of is possible. It is the details that will give me confidence. Look, I want to see that. And it's sad that in this country, look, I've written a couple of things. No country transformed without educating most of its people. South Korea, the literacy was around, it was less than 10%. Through deliberate government policy, everybody must go to school. So these are the things that we need. Who are our partners? Sami talked about education. The church, the clergy, how well are we using them? South Korea went to the villages. What they did was that they made districts and villages compete against each other. They will give all of you money and see who uses their money well. When you don't use your money well, they don't give you again. And then they started competing. Everybody must get involved from the hamlets. Manche, 24-hour economy has existed in some form, percentage. Maybe let's say it's 1%. Anybody who says we can take it to 80% is not dreaming, it's possible. But it is the details that will show how fast we move. And for me,
So it's not a bad idea.
Oh, Doc, for me, even under this government, maybe I suspect the one who says a bad idea look too much at the one who was saying it. Manche,
Then if you look at the one who said that, then you probably will have to declare. Okay, I get you.
You know, so and that's why sometimes the details is important. If you just look at who said the policy and all that, I mean, the point is that it is a byproduct or an aftermath of transformation. And this one thing I'm happy about is that when we started talking about this ecosystem of connecting the bank to a wallet and all that, people thought, you are worrying us and all that. But this ecosystem is now allowing more people, even small businesses, to operate when they are asleep. You can pay them and all that. So, Doc, tell Sami that.
He's seated by you.
But Enunga, no one in John.
All right.
Let him know that.
I can tell you because
yes. You see, value addition, like I said.
I thought you were done.
Okay,
no, go on.
Oh, Doc.
Thank you for coming to my head. So, look, I think bottom line is that the sectors and the specifics, you see, would be helpful so that the confidence can come. As we speak, the confidence level in the 24 economy is low because the specifics have not emerged. And we, on our side, are arguing that some of the things we put in place is more or less creating an environment to allow for more of the 24 economy. And by the way, if anybody tells you in London or in UK, all of them, the levels of 24-hour economy is the same, it's not true. There are villages also in Germany. I have visited a village in Stuttgart before. When you get there, most of them sleep at 7, 8. But when you come to Allianz Arena, life is 24/7. So anytime you have a lot of investment and infrastructure and the demand, like right now, my people tell me the AstroTurf, Manchester, I'm a war. Apparently they play up to 5 a.m. in the morning. So one gentleman saw me and said,
do you realize that by doing that you have induced demand?
So that's I talk about investments.
So you see that by doing that you have induced the demand.
But Doc, one thing, the truth also is that there are some demands you cannot necessarily, some you can induce. There are some you can create. In fact, if you go and Keteshi, you go and build a golf course. Even the MP, the incoming MP cannot play.
You will be shocked. You've forgotten that people like Sami Jenfi and others now live some 5 minutes from there.
Even Sami doesn't know how to play golf. Only JM and a few people need your channel. You know, so Doc, let's create the environment and we'll get there.
Before you come in, Sami, what does wealth mean to you? Do you want to live like a tycoon? Remember who's got a molar, got the power. Ghana's newest lottery game draws live on Adom TV at 9 a.m., 12 noon and 6 p.m. daily. Now pick up your phones, tablets and computers and download the Game Park Games app on Play Store. You can also play on the website at www.gameparkgames.com or by dialing *946# on all networks. Just choose 4 numbers from 0 to 9. It's easy to play and easy to win. Charlie we play this game and make some mola. Nobody beats our odds in Ghana. Game Park Games. More mola, more power. This game is regulated by the National Lottery Authority and it's not for persons under the age of 18. Play responsibly. And the natural absorptive property of charcoal helps to remove the bacteria that produces bad breath in the mouth, hence giving you a fresh breath. Kel Charcoal toothpaste has been formulated and produced under strict hygienic conditions with all the necessary production protocols and has been approved by the Food and Drugs Authority. Constant use of Kel Charcoal toothpaste gives you a good fresh breath, whiter teeth, reduces dental plaque, makes the gum healthy and strong, prevents cavity, upset stomach, hangover, and so on. Kel Charcoal toothpaste is recommended for adults and children from 6 years and above. Kel Charcoal toothpaste for white teeth and fresh breath all day long. And this is another quality product from Samara Company Limited. Kel Charcoal toothpaste, happy smile. And drink Angel Cola. It's your key to enjoyment. Angel Cola, love it. Ready for something refreshing, great tasting with excellent flavors? You've got varieties to choose from. Angel Orange for that special occasion, Angel Mango, Angel Peach, refresh your mood, and Angel Apple Lime. Angel Drinks produce vitality and maintain fluid in normal balance. Angel Drinks, refreshing, invigorating, and exciting. Angel Drinks are produced by Adonko Soft Drinks Beverages Limited, and they taste like our day. Recommended for all, including children. You can reach them on 0244 832286 and 0507878668. Terms and conditions apply. And if you're looking for quality but affordable housing up the hill, somewhere around the Kuapeme Krupon Ebri, where you can get homes in a serene environment with the best weather conditions, then you need to speak to Kingdom Home Real Estate. Their estates are located just 30 minutes drive from Accra and provide a modern touch of comfort. They provide a high standard security service plus CCTV, standby generators, constant water supply and electricity, and they're surrounded by lovely tourist sites such as Ebri Botanical Garden, Boti Falls, Safari Valley Resorts, etc. All you need to do is to pay 70% upfront and spread the remaining 30% over 2 years with no interest payment at all. You can locate them at Ebri, close to the Ebri Girls School, and a Krupon right after Latte Junction. And you can reach them on 0559 761144 or 0555 621 611. You can also visit them at www.kingdomhomerealestate.com or on their Facebook page. Sammy?
Doc, first of all, I want to make the point that the flag bearer and leader of the ruling New Patriotic Party, Alhaji Mahmoud Bawumia, needs urgent free education on the 24-hour economy strategy from Dr. Kuboy. He will do himself a lot of good. He invited Dr. Kuboy to take him through the policy and to help him understand the policy. Because clearly, listening to Dr. Kuboy, it shows that this is a serious mind who understands what a 24-hour economy is all about.
The man has primaries in 48 hours. Don't create enemies for him.
Okuboy, I'm sorry, but the truth has to be stated. You see, your leader and flag bearer, who is supposed to be who is an economist, let me put it that way, says that a 24-hour economy for Ghana is not a bright idea. He says it's a bad idea. And then he says it does not make sense.
Yes.
For us to even talk about 24-hour economy. It does not make sense. It is not sensible. It is nonsense. In other words, that is what he said. Yet you have this trained medical doctor representing government and the NPP here, telling us the net effect of everything Dr. Kuboy has said is this.
May I remind you once again that Dr. Kuboy has primaries in 48 hours.
Love for country before anything else.
So it looks
love for country.
It looks like your candidate in Lejokuku has sent you a text to find a certain
Okuboy knows that. Okuboy knows that. I honestly wish him well in their primaries, even though in the main election he knows Ayiku will do again. That one he knows it already. And Okuboy is very effective in opposition. So as for the primaries, I know he will win. He doesn't have any serious contender. He will obviously be in opposition.
But
no,
what he said?
Is that what?
No, he has said.
Well, Doc, on a serious note,
yes,
the net effect of what Dr. Kuboy has said is this: a 24-hour economy is good. A 24-hour economy is possible. A 24-hour economy may already be in operation at a certain level, but it can be improved if certain things are in place. He's spoken about efficiency. He's spoken about infrastructure. He has spoken about demand, which he says may already be in existence or can be induced. When you asked him the issue, a question about the inducement of demand, he answered in the affirmative. So this is Dr. Koboy telling you that John Mahama's 24-hour economy is laudable, it is possible, may even exist at a certain level, but we need certain things. And more importantly, what even is exciting about what he said.
His opponents has got in touch with
you. Doc, I'm just reporting, what he said. And if the portals and the newspapers are listening to me, you need this video. This video must go. And Annie, when we finish this program, get us this video. This video, I mean, we need it. Dr. Bawumia must see this. This whole thing about 24-hour economy will not give us time to sleep with our wives, and our wives will cheat on us. This whole thing about 24-hour economy doesn't make sense, and chop bars are already operating 24-hour economy. All that Dr. Koboy is telling you.
Says I should ask you if you've heard your senior at the bar on the 24-hour economy about witches and.
I heard it somewhere on social media. Did he really say that? I mean, pathetic, ridiculous justifications or even like arguments just to discredit a laudable policy. But let me commend Okuboy for being objective. Let me commend Okuboy for commending and lauding the right policy. Very, very, very important. I'll come there. And Dr. Okuboy, I mean, to answer some of the legitimate questions you raised, about, Nestle operates 24/7 because the demand already exists, you see. But that doesn't mean that there is a 24-hour economy. They operate 24/7. What is the government policy intervention supporting them to operate 24/7? Do we have some currently? Coca-Cola operates 24/7. Doc, you know that. What is the deliberate government policy intervention to support that? They are just doing it. They are doing it by chance.
Since you are
no policy supporting it.
Since you are addressing this issue he raised, let me add this one. It's similar. That Manchester Bruce brought. He says, 24-hour economy is already a reality, driven by globalization, technological advancement, and changing consumer demands. Already here in Ghana, businesses operate around the clock, fostering a continuous and interconnected global marketplace. The digitalization of Ghana's economy is already harnessing a 24-hour economy in Ghana. 24 years ago, I used to work on a 4-shift system at Nestle. That's why I said, let me add that. At this Tema factory, it was purely a 24-hour operation. If the NDC is proposing to enhance it to cover other areas of the economy, fair enough. But we have to weigh the pros and cons critically because there are several risks it may pose. Additionally, I don't see how we can force industry players by legislation to operate 24 hours, even if it's beyond their capacity. That's Manchester.
Look, in London, in Sydney, where they have a 24-hour economy strategy that they are implementing. In fact, they even have 24-hour economy mayors. They have 24-hour economy institutions, secretariats, and all that. Before the introduction of those strategies, are they saying that there were no businesses operating 24/7?
That's the point I made to
exactly.
I made to Sly yesterday.
Exactly.
That in all those places, they had what we want to say there's a semblance of 24-hour. But they decided to come up with a strategy.
Exactly.
If you look at London, fortunately, it's a place that many of the elites in Ghana have been to. We all know that if you want some things at night, you can get.
Yes.
But why would they decide to come up with a strategy?
A strategy.
If you've been to Sydney, you would know that there is a certain level of 24/7 whatever. Why did they decide
to come up with a strategy?
They needed a deliberate strategy. So it's not about the fact that there are some operations. For example, if you look at the UK one, there are places where tube service ends.
Yes.
So there's therefore a deliberate strategy to change that tube service and let it operate at certain hours. It doesn't operate
in certain areas.
Yes,
in certain areas. Exactly.
So that's why you need a strategy.
As at the time the night tube was introduced, for example, 1 out of 8 jobs in London was, a job under their 24-hour economy. It was a night job. And at the time, about 723,000 people were employed by London's 24-hour economy, or night economy. They projected that with the introduction of the night tube, for certain areas, 4 areas alone, for certain days, they were going to increase that by more than 100,000. So the fact that 1 or 2 businesses already operate 24/7 on their own does not mean that you have a 24-hour economy. This 24-hour economy is not about businesses operating 24/7 on their own. It's a policy intervention by government to encourage, activate, support businesses to be able to operate. Exactly, that's what we are talking about. It's like somebody saying that their failed Planting for Food and Jobs program, the failed one, you know, we all know it has failed. Kennedy Japan has even said that it has failed. Your failed Planting for Food and Jobs program, you see, that one. So it's like somebody saying that your Planting for Food and Jobs program is not new, because before you took office, there were already farmers planting and giving jobs. It's like saying that using fertilizer. It's like saying that
that companies go to the banks for money to invest in their businesses already. So what is this deliberate policy of giving maybe credit at particular rates to engender or to improve or to create something?
Exactly.
I mean,
so that
having
argument,
a strategy is being deliberate about something.
That argument does not arise at all. And then Doc spoke about, you know, the next thing I was dealing with. Yes, they operate 24/7, but on their own. Can you imagine? I met one of these companies, I won't mention the name for good reason, and asked them, now you're doing this on your own. Can you imagine if government now intervenes with a deliberate strategy to support you? And I outline the kind of support we intend to provide them for them to be able to operate 24/7 and employ more people. I mentioned cheaper power and the time of use tariff initiative, for example. He said, boss, our biggest challenge, if you look at our cost overheads, is the high cost of electricity. And if something can be done for us, I tell you. He says currently, there are even cheaper Coca-Cola products being imported into the country, and they are struggling to compete because of high cost of electricity, high cost of other inputs, and other factors that increases the cost of production. So what Dr. Koboy is asking for is exactly what we are talking about.
He says he wants to see the details, to see exactly what you're going to.
If he was not an NPP person, if he was an NPP, if he was not an NPP person, maybe I would have obliged him and said that yes, we'll get you the details. You understand? But as a member of the political tradition that promised us free SHS, didn't even give us the courtesy of publishing FAQs like we have done, like this. Not even FAQs. The president was asked on an international media network, what is the policy about? Have you costed it? He says, oh, I've costed it, but I prefer to tell Ghanaians before I tell you. Until date, he hasn't told Ghanaians because it was never done. They didn't even do FAQs to explain the policy. They didn't publish any blueprints. They didn't publish any details. Yet they said Ghanaians should believe it, and some believed it and voted for them in 2016. Now, if he comes to us and tells us, oh, this policy is good, it is possible, but we need to do certain things first. So we want to know the details, so give us the details, and it's all about the details. It smacks of a certain inconsistency and hypocrisy. But you see, we are different from them. We don't parade cheap slogans as economic policies without thinking through them properly and without developing the blueprint to guide the implementation of the policy. We have it, but you know, political parties put such documents out as part of their manifesto. So Doc, just exercise patience, Kakrebi. The manifesto will come, a 24-hour economic blueprint will be issued, you will have it. It will be more detailed than these FAQs, which are supposed to answer frequently asked questions about the policy. And I'm sure your questions will be answered.
Will you be developing FAQs as we go along? Because when I read this material, what I realized was that these were questions that had been broadly asked since the flag bearer announced
it. In the course of the media discussion.
So as we move on, when questions other than these ones come up, are you going to be developing FAQs?
Exactly. So this is volume 1. Volume 2 will come. Volume 3, as part of the public education. People must understand it. People must understand it. There is a lot of misinformation out there. And we are determined to ensure that with effective communication, people will not become victims to deception like it happened in previous elections. Doc, you mentioned tomatoes. I will even give you an example, sugar. We have the capacity to produce sugar locally. We have that capacity. It is for it is for that reason that President Mills and President Mahama built the Commander Sugar Factory that your government has abandoned to rot. Okay, but the question is, if we are going to encourage the states and private companies to go into sugar production, should they do that on an 8-hour shift? No. To be able to meet domestic demand and even consider exporting sugar or tomato paste, we need to get these companies to work around the clock. And that is why the incentives we have spoken about cheaper power, about tax incentives, about financing support especially, is important. We created Exim Bank for you to support initiatives like this, investments in the productive sectors, to produce for value addition, for import substitution, for export and so on. You've decided to give funds from the Exim Bank to your party apparatchiks. Took more than $10 million of that money and gave it to Chama Wontumi. What does he use the money for? And you give it to musicians here and there. That was not the purpose for the establishment of the Exim Bank by John Mahama. So the things you're talking about, that is what we are going to do. For example, President Mahama, when he was in Bono, you were not in Ghana at the time, but I'm sure you must have heard him talk about cashew. The need for us to have a cashew marketing board that will guarantee prices for cashew farmers and provide them with the needed support to boost cashew production. And the need for us to build a cashew processing factory in the Bono Enclave, which is a hub of cashew production. He has spoken about that. And we have that capacity. It is there. And there is no telling what we can do with cashew alone in terms of processing. So all these things, if you read John Mahama's speech, at the TUC event, which is his latest one. If you read his speech at Ghana at Crossroads, the speech titled Ghana at Crossroads, delivered at Kimpiski. If you read the speech which he delivered under the theme Building the Ghana We Want Together at UPSA, he has outlined all these things. But we are saying that the vehicle for the implementation of all these policies will be a 24-hour economy to enhance productivity, to enhance production. Then, Doc, apart from this, Dr. Okoboy spoke about certain things that he thinks Bawumia has done that is already making businesses operate 24/7. You see, unfortunately, because he's appropriating achievements that Bawumia knows nothing about to Bawumia, you see the contradiction.
Like what?
Because this paperless system he's talking about, Doc, you've been sitting here for more than 2 decades. It didn't start under Bawumia.
True.
It didn't start under Bawumia.
True.
It was West Blue under the Mahama administration that started the process of having a paperless port at Tema Port. Everybody knows that. You can Google it. The records are there. So why will you sit here? Because you know Bawumia today has failed and totally collapsed the economy, which was his claim to fame, which he rode on to power. Okay, the economy that he's been responsible for 7 good years as chairman of the economic management team, and you cannot talk about how he has improved the economy because he has worsened, he has destroyed the economy. You now want to credit him for things that he knows next to nothing about. I am ready any day, any time for a debate on this so-called digitalization achievements of Bawumia. From Ghana card to all the applications they are talking about. They're all predating. And if we want to talk about digital infrastructure and digital applications, he comes nowhere near John Mahama. In fact, to compare that record will make Bawumia look like a class 1 people. He comes nowhere near in terms of digital infrastructure, in terms of digital applications. We may not have time for that today. So don't give him credit for things he knows next to nothing about. You understand? If you want to give him credit for anything, give him credit for how he has fared in the management of the economy, because that was his claim to fame. That was his primary responsibility as vice president and chairman of the economic management team. And you see the contradiction in one breath. They will say that, Bawumia was only a vice president. And so don't blame him for the failings of this government. But in another breath,
let me wrap up for me.
Any good thing they see, they want to say it is Bawumia. I mean, you cannot approbate and reprobate. You understand? If you want to give Bawumia credit for anything, give him credit for the economy he has destroyed, such that today we have defaulted on our debt obligations, such that today inflation is moving around 35%, unemployment around 35%, youth unemployment around 36%, and so on. Those are the things you should talk about. So, Dr. Okoboy has done justice to the topic. I commend him for that. We must be objective enough to acknowledge that. And I want to strongly advise that Mahmoud Bawumia consider inviting him over to give him some free education on this policy. He should stop making a mockery of himself. Since he started his campaign, Doc, he has not announced any compelling policy alternative. The only things you hear him talk about is that now with your Ghana card, you can go and buy a car. When even in the United States of America, you can't go and buy a car with an ID card. Which car garage, car park in this country can you go today with a Ghana card and buy a car? Even abroad, look, your source of income will be validated. Your credit score will be validated. Before, your proof of funds validated before you can buy even on credit. And then you just stand on a platform in front of Utumfo and say, with Ghana card, you can go and buy a car. Then you heard the other ridiculous policy they announced when they were in the north for their thank you tour. One of the people leading this campaign today, called Entribu Siako, A.K. Wuntumi, announced a policy on behalf of Bawumia. What is the policy? It says that under Bawumia, there will be AstroTurfs, which will operate in the night. And that will make Ghana get to the World Cup final, of the next World Cup. So football people, this is good news for you. You will get to the next World Cup final, and that will create jobs for a lot of young people. They won't pay for food. These are the ridiculous things they are talking about. We want the 2024 election to be a contest of ideas. Dr. Bawumia, trust me, will not get away with the cheap political rhetoric, sloganeering, and the lies he peddled in 2016 and 2020. Never again will Ghanaians allow themselves to be hoodwinked by those scams, those lies. And so he should listen to people like you, surround himself with people like you, so that you can educate him properly. Now that he has said that 24-hour economy don't make sense, it's a bad idea, how can he even come back and say the things Dr. Okoboy is saying? This is very sad. Okay. Very, very sad.
Like I said, if you hear, like a 24-hour economy was there when Rawlings was around, is the percentage or the proportion of the population of business that is caught in it that usually increases based on the market, based on investments and the environment. If JM says it, if you don't take your time, you say that, it cannot happen because his record doesn't inspire confidence. I remember when I went to some media houses that had to start running away from even the 8-hour shift because they had to buy diesel to run their stations. I remember people who were in their private business, sewing clothes, those who were using machinery to do small businesses, who were sleeping at home and couldn't do their 8-hour because power was not available or was not efficient. The point I've made here, which I'll continue to make, is that the 24-hour is only a product of efficiency, a product of innovation, and a product of creating the right opportunities or taking advantage of the opportunities. These are the things that we have to speak to. Some things are facts. It's like someone coming to tell us that it is possible to get someone to the moon. People have gone there already. It is possible, if that is a manifesto. But what has been put in place in Ghana to make us go to the moon either tomorrow in 30 years? Now, I've spoken about, when you talk about strategy, that yes, land market is there, but the strategy can also be applied. I agree with you, Doc, perfectly. But remember, and forgive me, JM is a politician who wants to come to power. Someone can throw a policy because it appeals to the ears and might bring a lot of votes. Someone who can throw it because the fellow believes in the policy, the fellow has planned about the policy, has details of the policy, and the chance of it materializing is over 90%. Let me give you one example. One of the strategies which my brother Sami mentioned is this off-peak tariff. In this country, you have been saying all the time, there are serious challenges in the energy sector. is a sector burdened with debts. Under JM, they could not sustain their supply chain. There were plants that they were struggling to pay for. I remember when one of the West African gas people visited Jubilee House to talk to JM, and then I remember PRC saying that, oh, now that they've come, they have agreed that they will increase the electricity bill so that we can pay them. There were challenges under him. Now, this is the question. If under the so-called 8 hour, to sustain power is a problem. Now, you are saying you have a lower tariff, let's say in the night, off peak. Now, if I am producing milk during the day, it's simple economics. And it is 100 Ghana for an hour that I pay. But if I start my machines in the evening, I'll pay 50 Ghana cedis. If my demand, if I need 8 hours to produce the products that my demand has, I'll shut the machines off during the day. And on board,
but you will not benefit because the data will show that you are not operating at 24
It's a scanner system calibrated to detect such.
So assuming, Doc, I go with you. So if during the day there's a record that I operate during the day and I get some discount in the night, it's like a form of subsidy. Is that not so?
Yeah.
This is where the economics comes in. Currently, ECG tells you what we are collecting does not even match the bills coming to us. So what will make us have confidence is when you show me how you grow
legitimate line of question.
Oh no.
I'm saying it's a legitimate line of question.
This is how Bawumia should be speaking.
That's
how you should be speaking.
About power, the Minister of Finance will be here. In this one to questions in the Irish.
Look, you people are not being fair to me. This guy, I think Beatrice Anna should start teaching me guy because the way you bully me with your guy here.
Nothing happens out of the blue. See President Kufuor.
You should have contacted me before you got married.
Look, when President Kufuor said he wanted cocoa.
Madam, sorry, I was just joking. I was just joking, madam.
When President Kufuor said he wanted us to increase our tonnage in cocoa, he mentioned 1 million tons. He wanted to create a value chain that would bring us 1 million tons, which would translate into an improvement in our international balance of payment situation. Doc, what did he do? Kufuor was the first person who really accelerated these extension services to cocoa.
Just hold on 1 minute. Let me just do this quickly. The issue you raised about the night and the tariff. Our brother JJ, John Jinapo,
he's an expert in that area.
He says the off-peak hour production rather helps to sustain the tariff because it addresses the problem of idle capacity. Which the nation would have paid in the form of capacity charge. So he says that utilizing it rather than letting it sit idle is rather more productive.
It's good.
But it's good you ask.
Legitimate question.
But for your question, I was
speaking like a doctor.
And you see, the funny thing is that if you have a company, that runs, let's say, 8 hours during the day, Doc, and they produce 1,000 products, that's the market. If you even come and add the night one, Doc, if now you are telling that they will check a record, so you can't put the machines in the day, the fellow will not necessarily start putting the machines on in the night, Doc, only because now it is cheaper. Unless the product to the demand has gone up. So, I mean, these are the details. And all comes, the basics, the foundation, is to have an environment where it is easy to start business, it is easy to sustain it, and it is less frustrating. Look, how come we have Kasapreko opening up a new company in the Ashanti region? It's because the 1D1F allowed them to be exempted. I was in Parliament when we passed their waiver. It was the biggest exemption that has ever come to Parliament. Millions of dollars worth of equipment, Doc. So as for the strategy, the Kufuor government. So are we now going to say that because Kasapreko now has gone to Kumasi is operating 24 hours, we have created a 24-hour economy? No. The more you invest in sectors and create the environment, the more you reduce the hurdles and the barriers that businessmen or the industry face, the more likely you will increase the percentage. Manche, look, let me tell Sammy what I don't want to happen to him. My prayer, you know already, that VIP will continue as president after 2024. But I want to, it's not a warning, but to remind Sammy that if Touchwood, it's because of where I am, that's why I say touch, but I'm not God. JM becomes president. For people to see a transformation in our lives and jobs, so I mean, it's not eloquence or communication. No. It is very strict, deliberate, thought through policy. I'm saying this so that I know that I've looked critically at some jurisdictions, doc. The sacrifices they made, the kind of supervision, the no-nonsense attitude, reforming bureaucracies and things, doc, it's not easy.
So what you're saying is exactly what Kojo Anderson in the UK sent to me to tell you when you were comparing the Singapores and others. That the things you're talking about is the difference. That's what they did.
It's a function of change.
Doc, and in conclusion,
leadership on the part of citizens
doc,
and everything.
In conclusion, I really would plead with those who try to disconnect economy from an IT ecosystem or a digital system and say Bawumia should concentrate on economy and leave the manche. Oh, you're PhD. No economy that has transformed in this modern world did that disconnected from an IT or a digital infrastructure. In fact,
maybe you should advise those who are talking digitalization to connect.
They should do the connection and show how those digitalization measures you're talking about
the passport,
or interventions
affecting
the passport office. When they used to do only manual, their inflows, revenue. When about Chefi can say, oh no, their inflows they were getting about. So look, I think, Doc, what gives me comfort about Dr. Bawumia, and listen carefully, what gives me comfort is that our challenges as a country are many. He has better understanding of our challenge. Oh, please. But are you close to the challenges?
Don't spoil the beautiful work you have done here today. Please.
Listen to me well. I'm saying that we have many challenges. For me, what gives me comfort is that Dr. Bawumia understands.
I have a question, but I won't ask you.
He understands.
He appreciates because he's closer to the challenge.
I'll ask you after the primary.
Oh, he's closer.
When you come after the primary, remind me that there was a question I was supposed to ask you today.
Doc.
But I said
I don't win
that. Everything Dr. Koboy has said.
We are going.
Oh, Doc, you didn't give me the opportunity to comment the minority caucus.
Yes.
Hey, you haven't heard what you did yesterday.
The majority is still no. As of this morning, they have still not appeared in the house.
The majority people?
Yes.
They've run away from their own budget.
This morning,
Let me salute our gallant 137 members of parliament led by the Honorable Dr. Ato Forsen for fighting a good fight.
That even this morning.
Really?
Yes.
Fighting a good fight for God and country. The fight to reject the 2024 budget statement, which is going to exacerbate the hardships we are already reeling under because of the many draconian tax measures in the budget. Must not be allowed to speak about
I have to speak about the extractive sector.
No, I want to hear what they have to say about changes in the extractive sector relative to this new lithium.
So it's a topic
I want to hear. We want to know when the agreement they have signed will be presented to Parliament for ratification. We want to know.
So
it's very important.
The agreement, meanwhile, is on their website.
Okay.
So you can find.
But finally, let me say
we'll discuss those issues later. That's not on board today.
Okay. And Doc, let me say that Dr. Koboy has passed as one of the greatest ambassadors for the 24-hour economy. I have a cap and a shirt for him. He's done a good job.
You don't wish him well for Saturday.
Oh no, I wish him well. Oh, but he doesn't have a contest. Dr. Koboy. Dr. Koboy. He's one of the brilliant guys in the MPP. He will win the primary for the main election. He knows that Ayuku must go again. He knows in the interest of Lejukuku. He knows Ayuku is going. But as for the primaries, no size.
From the bottom of my heart, I wish you the very best.
I mean, no size.
As for you, I know your heart is with me.
Oh, no size, you are winning.
And I pray that
no size,
the constituency will give you a massive endorsement.
The fact that Okuboy has lost power and now wants to go back to Parliament tells you, like he said, now he's gained a lot of experience, sitting back, observing.
And he said he's sure God
exactly
the period to
it's the more reason why
see the difference.
Ghanaians must vote for experience and not experiment by electing John Dramani Mahama, who has been president before, gone into opposition for 4 years and is coming back
both of you ever visited,
for 8 years and is coming back.
Both of you ever visited the Prayer Cathedral, Action Chapel?
The one on the mountain?
No. Spintex Road.
Oh, yes, I've been there. Yes.
Have you ever been there?
I've been there.
Okay. Have you been there when there's worship, praises and worship?
Yes.
Went there for one service.
So the lady who leads it, Reverend Ife.
Okay.
That powerful the one
singer.
Yes, that's it. Reverend
wow.
She's 50 today.
Wow.
Yes.
She doesn't look her age at all. Very young.
She's 50 today.
Yeah, very anointed minister.
Yeah.
Very anointed
Reverend
minister
Ife,
of God.
Congratulations on your golden jubilee. Happy 50th birthday to you, and it's from the Papa, the Archbishop Nicholas Duncan Williams. All the bishops. Over here for. No. All the bishops and the members of the Action Chapel International worldwide.
Thank you.
And everybody else wishes you a happy golden jubilee. So happy 50th birthday to you, Reverend Ife. And also happy 50th to you, Nicholas Tamaklo, aka Tiklo. Happy birthday to you, Ebenezer Fosuyale. And happy birthday to you, Honorable Gisela Tete MP for Wutu Senya West.
And happy belated birthday to the nation builder, His Excellency John Dramani.
GMA 65.
It will be easy.
Okay. All right. Okay, so gentlemen, thanks. Easy. Up next, my conversation with the CEO of the Minerals Commission is here. He's been sitting here patiently. He's in a lithium white. We'll be back shortly.
Pascal is showing his boss the efficient new technology they've installed. She is pleased, but now she's asking, why is that still there? Pascal explains that he hired a security guard to protect the data shed. The boss is not so pleased anymore. If you haven't upgraded to cloud storage yet, it's time to get business done better with MTN Business.
Hello Ghana, KNUSC ISWAN, Republic Welfare Limited, a subsidiary of Republic Bank Ghana, presents Women in Business Conference. Are you a young woman entrepreneur with a small business or medium-scale business? You can't miss this amazing program coming up at Cafe Banua Jowulua Crown on the 30th of November 2023, 9 a.m. sharp. Learn about loan financing, access to loans. All these benefits await you. Don't miss this amazing opportunities. Investment is a cool 1,000 Ghana cedis. Harvest all course materials, coffee break, lunch, networking. See you there.
Yamawa Kwaba, the button Nadum Auto Fix and Accessories. Ahadie, a bano KSC near Wakadia. Ubenya Biaha. Kabian in the house, any new here. Yansu ye were winning the four, or best son, ye amount. Nadum Auto Fix and Accessories, ye you did ye. 24/7. Ye says engine, brake, battery, yes, a sour tie. Say bano car wash dia. Yawo abefun fidiabiti say steamer ye the whole car engine abra nsuo core engine nim ye san ye detailing metre say ye betwetwe car no mu ba bia ma ye wi a ya san polish car na ma kama enye we no nko ye san to car batteries, tires, rims any de keke kan Manadum Auto Fix and Accessories ema wo car ensi ne dadem na enwu adwuma ma hwehwe ye chira kwan wo dansoma na sorry dan ho a ene KFC bon hwanimu e won kran se wo information anansem bi se bia 024-651-9369. Nadum Auto Fix and Accessories.
Discover the perfect blend of quality, modern elegance, and affordability with Kingdom Home Real Estate. At Kingdom Home Real Estate, we cater to both local and international clients, offering exceptional housing options in Ebri and Ikropong. Our properties are conveniently located, providing a tranquil atmosphere, top-notch security, and essential amenities such as electricity, water, and backup generators. Our strategic locations offer easy access to popular tourist destinations, all within a 30-minute drive from Accra. Visit us in Ikropong right after the Latte Junction or in Ebri near the Ebri Girls Senior High School. Alternatively, you can reach us Kingdom Home Real Estate, where your dream home becomes a reality.
Right, welcome back to the show. If you just joined us, this is Good Morning Ghana live on Metro TV. And it's time for our conversation with the Mineral Commission and the CEO of the Commission, Mr. Martinez, is here with me for that conversation. Good morning.
I missed last week.
You've missed 2 weeks.
Last week I didn't make it. The week before I was here.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. So last week we wrapped up on the lithium thing. You told us about the agreement and all that. There are a few issues coming up on that. I'm sure that maybe next week we'll be able to deal with those issues. I've seen something by the IEA, and then the former Chief Justice has also spoken about that. And so I'm sure that those specifics we'll deal with next week. But this issue seems never to go away. And it's linked a bit to some of the issues that have been raised. And I'd like us to focus on that today. I always refer to a statement made by the Ochihini some time back, that if exploiting the minerals will not improve our lives and will not help us, but it will rather lead to degradation and all manner of things, then we might as well just keep them down there and not exploit them. I want us to look at that, and then I also want us to look at the issue of investments in exploration. It's something that you raise any time that we speak about these issues. But let's start off with the issue of the bigger picture. I mean, with all the wahala, we might as well just forget about this.
Randy, thank you very much. Randy, it cannot go away. And that is what we should be doing. You see, in the past, before you realize an agreement has been signed, then it's only when certain things, that is when you get to know, oh, government has entered into this agreement. Even getting the agreement is difficult until we have this EITI thing which says publish what you pay, transparency, publish contract, etc. It was difficult for anybody to just assess some of these mining or petroleum agreements, until recently. So it's good. It tells you that these are a program. People are watching, people are listening, people are getting education, and then people want to, know what affects us. I am not claiming monopoly over wisdom or knowledge. But as I read the commentaries, as I hear people talk, one thing stands clearly. People require education. People are asking questions, and they are entitled to ask questions, and they must demand answers. So the fact that the document is now available, people are reading, people are assessing it, people are holding all kinds of meetings, workshops, seminars.
Critiquing it.
That is how it should have been in all sectors. Then people get to know where we are. So let me discuss some of the issues, maybe this week, next week, so that people understand. Because you see, my feeling is this: people are just taking the agreement and just reading it, and they are not looking at what is happening internationally, what is happening around us, and what actually is the state of play when it comes to how mining works.
So you want us to look at?
So I want us to look at that.
All right, that's fine.
But before we come to that, let me correct a statement or something that is out there in the general public. Atlantic Lithium through Barari are not conducting any mining operation yet. They are not doing any mining because if you look at the statement or the comments by the former Chief Justice, Her Lordship Sofa Akufu, she said the agreement will have to go to Parliament. I think, Randy, you had asked that question. And I told you that we still have some regulatory steps that need to be completed. So yes, the company has been issued with a mining lease, properly signed by the minister, which the law mandates him to do, acting on the recommendation of the Minerals Commission. That has been done. Now, there are other 2 things that you require before you can go to the ground and dig the stuff or exploit the mineral. Environmental permits. You need to get that from the EPA. So as we speak, they are going through the environmental permitting process. That has to be completed. Without that, they can't work. Then when they finish the environmental permitting process, there's public hearing, people raise issues, and all those things are addressed. They'll have to come back to the Chief Inspector of Mines to be issuing an operating permit. They may even have to apply for construction permits and other permits before they work. So even if Parliament should ratify the mining lease today, assuming Parliament should ratify the mining lease today, they still cannot conduct any mining operations unless they get an EPA permit. They come back to Minerals Commission, we give them operating permit, we even have to give them a construction permit, okay? Then they can go now and start putting in place all the necessary infrastructure to start perhaps the construction of the mine.
At which point does the application for parliamentary approval kick in?
Once the minister signs, they have to take it to Parliament.
So the minister has signed?
The minister has signed.
Okay.
He needs to get it through Cabinet and then take it to Parliament. That will be done, so don't worry. That will be done. So no mining is taking place because the impression is that because the minister has signed, people are mining. No. So what is happening now is that they are still exploring. Okay?
How do you explore?
Oh, they have a prospecting license. So when you have a prospecting license, you carve out either part or the entire place for a mining lease. So the retained area you can explore. And then under our law, if a company has a mining lease, you still continue exploring. So they have the right to keep exploring because their prospecting license has not expired, their EPA permit has not expired, their operating permit under the prospecting license has not expired. They only have a mining lease now. So exploration is permitted under the law, which they are doing.
What's the difference between exploration and actual mining?
It's very simple.
Yes.
Exploration, you are deploying certain technology or tools to look for a mineral. Okay, so you can do some trenching, you can do some pitting, you drill, you pick rocks, you take it to the lab, you assess. Okay, it's barely have anything more than 5%, chance of success. So that is what.
But haven't you gone past that stage with
They've gone that, but nothing stops it. Like for example, Newmont, they have a big mine in Kenya. Okay, Goldfields has a mine in Takwa. They are still exploring that property. If you have a mining lease, automatically you can be exploring. You don't need any different right to be exploring.
Is it not a back door to mining?
No, it's not a back door. You will know. Randy, if you dig today and you mine, we will know.
How?
Because you have dug the place, we will know. Even if you cover it, we will know. Our inspectors are there.
Also includes
exploration. I mean, the exploration. Okay, you drill, you deploy a drill rig. Okay, the inspectors come there, they will know. If you mine, we will know.
Okay. Clarify something for me. I think a couple of weeks ago, I read a news item where I just want some clarification.
Yes.
Where some chiefs or traditional rulers in the Efutu area.
I will come to that.
Okay.
What
I want you to clarify, is it the same one we are talking about?
No.
It's not
the same one we are talking about.
Okay.
And then this issue of Yenku Forest has come up again. Was it last year or 2 years ago where Nyenyi Gati, I hope I got the title right. Yes, Nyenyi Gati, and they got up and said, then I said, look, nothing like that will happen in the Yenku Forest. So
Yenku is in a Futu.
Yenku is a forest reserve.
In a Futu.
Yes, in a Futu or Winneba.
Yes.
Okay, Simpa, whatever you want to call it. They have different names. Now that place, I understand that's where they go for their DS, for their Abuache festival, that beautiful festival.
Yes.
Okay?
Yes.
He's not been granted for any mining. We have the record. So at the appropriate time, I'll meet him. I'm going to book an appointment, meet him and his elders, because it's our duty to do that.
So there's even no exploration?
Nothing is happening in the Yenku Forest.
But is something happening around it?
We have never granted any right in the Yenku Forest. So I'll put up a statement. I'll arrange and meet the Futu Traditional Council and the municipality for us to discuss that.
So that's nothing to do with that.
It has nothing to do with this.
Right.
It's nothing. So Randy, let's come back to this issue of mining.
Yes.
Randy, I want everybody to understand this. You see, the global mining industry or mining is like a bazaar or a street market. Okay, when you go to a bazaar or a street market, you see two things happening there. You have the shop owners, okay, that are displaying all kinds of wares, okay, food, whatever. Remember, different prices, quality, product, etc. And then you have shoppers like you and I who go there to go and look for various items to buy. You have your own list. So before you get there and you buy an item, you look at what? The price, you look at quality, you look at what is in display and all those things. And the mining, international mining industry is not different. Do you understand that? So there are over close to 100 minerals, and we are still counting, discoveries are being made. And countries are endowed. And I want you to understand this. Randy, God is merciful. But I'm sorry, when it comes to geology, it is not like that. Okay? The geology by far of every country is known. Things change with technology. And now, Randy, because of technology, practically the entire world now is open for mineral exploration and mineral mining. Places that we couldn't mine years back, because of technology, these things have become possible. So, the shopper, who is now the investor, and you, the store owner, who is the country that is endowed with mineral resource, if he comes around, he has to look at your price. He has to look at your quality of the product. He has to look at other things. So people don't just get up and come to your country and come and invest. Any investor or international mining company that is looking for investment anywhere, including even locals, because I don't want also to create the impression that everything must be done by investors who are coming from outside the country. Randy, three things are very fundamental. One, geological risks, and not just geological risks, but also geological risks and reward. Your endowment. The investor will have to look at that. Do you understand that? So where the geology is such that it is even easier for him to make a discovery, he will do that. There is number two, there is also political and macroeconomic risks. Nobody will take his money into a war zone. Nobody will go into a country where taxes and things are changed overnight. And then the last one is fiscal regime. So the investor, whether local or foreign, he will look at the geological risks and the reward. He will look at the political and macroeconomic risks. Then he will look at the fiscal regime. So all things being equal, compare 2 countries or 4 countries, geology-wise, they are all endowed. Let's say they are the same level. Then that person is offering better incentives. Randy, why will you take your money? Okay? These are weak. Okay? Maybe it's being sold 1 cedi, the wholesale price. And then store A is selling into 1 cedi 20 pesos. The other one is selling into 1 cedi 40 pesos. Where will you buy it?
1 cedi 20.
That is how mining works. Okay? So when people get up and say, oh, perhaps we should have charged 20% royalty, 40% royalty, I ask the question, look, let's look at a few statistics and then it will strengthen the discussion. Randy, last year, and I brought figures, last year, total exploration spend, the whole world, is $13.1 billion. That is the amount of money that was spent by companies looking for a mineral. An activity that has barely 5% chance of success. $13 billion. That is the total worldwide exploration spend for last year. Okay? Now, about half of that goes to gold. So, let me put on record that gold is the most explored mineral. So, that means the more prospective you are, for gold, the more people will look at it. They will look at you. Other things being equal. Now, look at the figures. Canada attracted $2.6 billion. I'm mentioning the top 4. Australia, $2.3 billion. US, $1.5 billion. I think I sent it to you on WhatsApp. Chile, $730 million. So these are the top 4 countries where, most countries took their money to go and look for a mineral. By far, as I said, half of the 13 billion went to, gold. And then next in rank is base metals, particularly copper. Okay, these days the green metals are, picking up. So look at the percentages, and then we'll come to how we are faring in Africa. So the 2.6 billion gives Canada about 20.6% of the exploration budget, the whole world. This is Canada. Australia, 2.3 billion gives them 17.8%. US, 1.5 billion gives them 12.2%. Chile, $730 million gives them 5.4%. So if you like, almost about 4 countries control, let's say, about half of the world's budget for exploration.
They control about 7 billion of the 13 billion.
Yeah, that is it. Now let's come home and see the closest country. I've mentioned the top 4 worldwide. Closest last year figures, Mali leads. So Mali receives more exploration spend in Africa than any other country. They are number 12 worldwide and number 1 in Africa. Mali attracted $153 million of exploration just last year. That's about 1.1%. 1.1%. Most of it gold, and then of course lithium. And then number 2 is Democratic Republic of Congo, DRC. Their budget spend was $132 million. Of course, the bulk of it went to gold and copper. They are quite endowed in copper. So number 13 in the world. Then number 16 in the world, but number 3 in Africa is our gorgeous Ghana. So last year, the amount of money that was spent for exploration in Ghana is $113 million. 113. Then of course, Ivory Coast is number 4, 110. Then South Africa completes the top 4. So Mali attracted more investments in exploration in Africa than any other country, 153, followed by DRC 132, Ghana 113, Ivory Coast 110. Ivory Coast was number 1 last year, they dropped, and South Africa 104. So the top 4, if you like, top 5 countries for exploration, according to the latest figures, is Mali, DRC, Ghana, Ivory Coast, and South Africa. You understand that? So that is exploration budget. So you compare, so nobody is doing anything more than, if you like, 160 million compared to the top 4. So if Chile, is the biggest producer of copper in the world, and they are attracting $730 million. Budget of half of what was spent by investors in Chile. You want to charge 20% royalty in lithium. Okay? Ghana, well, let's do the maths. South Africa 104, Ivory Coast 110. That's about, let's say 200. Ghana 113. So that's about 313 million. Mali 153, DRC 132. So you are talking about barely 600 million worth of money that were spent on exploration, looking for the mineral in the top 4 countries in Africa. It is not even equivalent to what was spent in Chile. Okay? All these countries I've mentioned are leading countries for gold and copper. Ronnie, listen carefully. Half of the world's exploration budget goes to gold. I think the next big mineral after gold is copper. Okay? So you have Mali, you have DRC, you have Ghana, you have Ivory Coast, and then you have South Africa. All these countries are very prospective for gold. And DRC, very, very prospective for copper. South Africa also produces some copper anyway. Now Chile, which is number 4 in the world, according to the figures for last year, attracted $730 million. Chile is the biggest producer of copper in the world. Okay? And then also has 40% of the world's lithium. So Randy, do you want us to go and charge 40 or 20 or 30% royalty? Nobody will come to your country. And I said last 2 weeks when I came here that there's a project in Mali. It's called Gulamina. Gulamina is nearly 3 times the size of Ewoya. Mali is not charging more than 6% royalty. They have better reserves than us. Democratic Republic of, Zimbabwe has the largest reserves of lithium in Africa, number 6 in the world. They are not charging royalty more than 6%. So if you sit in Ghana and you say you want to charge royalty 50%, okay, nobody will come to your country. You could as well forget it. Now even locals will not do that. I will put my money in rare estate. Okay, so there are basically 2 ways. It's either you look at what is happening around you and you design your framework so that you'll be able to compete, or you do it yourself. So if the likes of the former Chief Justice Sophia Akufu, Institute of Economic Affairs, and other think tanks are saying that we are signing colonial agreements, we are raising to the bottom, we are giving everything away, then my answer to them is very simple. Resource geological survey. Resource geological survey. Buy them all the vehicles, give them all the money to deploy the technology. Ghana is open, let them go out there, do the exploration, generate the data, package it, zone government Ghana into blocks either for lithium, any other critical mineral or gold, invite investors, local, foreign, and then package it later and let them go to the gold room or the place. Right now.
But would that not be a more sensible approach?
Yes, and that's what I've been calling for. So let me now circle back to the small scale thing.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? It's even more demanding, or that's even where we need it.
Mm-hmm.
So around 1989, Ghana was the first country in Africa to allow small scale mining lawfully. Mm-hmm. Something that was discouraged throughout the colonial days, even throughout until 1989, rolling still time, okay? Mm-hmm. And then when we started this ERP1, ERP2 and all those reforms, and we sold all those mines, what happened? Then we were told that a country like Togo that does not produce gold, your gold and diamonds and things are there.
Mm.
So now legalize, formalize the sector, allow people to do it lawfully. So we started a small scale gold law, mercury law, and then even PMC, so that people can buy and sell. Do you understand that? Just 5 regions: Ashanti, Eastern, Central, Western, and Bolga. So we opened offices in these areas. Then you had anything between 50 to 100,000 involved. What we should have been doing since 1989, and Minerals Commission, okay, after CEO, right from Kofi Ansah, Wanya Miche, what do you call it, even Mr. Ali, who is now advisor to the minister, and then up to my level. The message out there is that every year put money down and give it to Geological Survey to explore all these blockout areas that Minerals Commission has designated as small scale block. Then we can pass it out them, we can pass it them out for small scale miners. We didn't do that, or we've not been able to do that for like almost 3 decades, because about 34 years now, 1989. And then you have now come to realize that an activity that was being conducted in 5 regions is being done in 13 regions for gold, save OT, where I come from, Volta and Greater Accra. And you have from 50,000, about 3 million people directly and indirectly involved. It is not something you can deal with overnight. That's how we behave. And in any case, remember that the state used to run mines. Randy, the biggest producer of copper in the world is Chile. The biggest producer of copper in the world is Codelco. Codelco is a state mine. At least the Chileans remember Pinochet for that. Codelco is a state-owned mine. So to answer Sophia Akufu and all those people, we used to have a state gold mining corporation. The head office of Minerals Commission now was a former head office of the State Gold Mining Corporation. So we have been there before. We had the opportunity as a country to do it ourselves. Geological Survey, SGMC. So Takwa, Persia, Dunkwa Continental, Ghana Bauxite Manganese, these were all dominated and run by the state. We run them down like Ghana Airways. Like all those Georg Pharmaceutical, Georg almost all those state enterprises that were established by Nkrumah, we run them down. So we had to do these mining reforms and Akwesi to sell the mines and diversity. Takwa was run by the state, Prestia, Dunkwa. So we have gone through an era where the people of Ghana or the state had the opportunity of running the mines themselves, like what Chile is still doing with Codelco, which produces more copper than even BHP or Rio Tinto. We run them down. Okay, so for me, I don't support we going back to state-run mines. But there are several.
No, I'm not sure that's what they're asking for.
Well, so no, I just want people should know that we have a history.
Yes.
We had the opportunity of doing it ourselves. We messed up. Now then, the question is that okay, so if you want to bring investors in, whether Ghanaians or foreign, it doesn't mean you should raise to the bottom. I get that, but Randy, if I get up today and say I am creating blocks for lithium, these are the blocks. I'm inviting investors, local or foreign, for competitive bidding. You have to let people enter what we call your data room. It's the same thing in petroleum. Data room. What are they going to see? Where is the data?
But is that not what we should be doing?
Yeah, so when I came here 2 weeks ago, I said the short, medium to long-term solution is that if we want to do it well, we have to resource geological survey. Give them the money and let them do the exploration. That is one. Then number two, Randy, if you are looking at the picture, you have to look at the full value chain. Okay? You have to look at the exploration, you have to look at mining, you have to look at the value addition, you have to look at the full value chain. So, the fact that you own the mineral and you are even the 100% owner, it doesn't mean that you can still benefit if things are not right. I heard Sami Gyamfi tell you a while ago, shortly before this program, that, they will have to reduce tariffs and then so that you see imported coke or any, just like the way our local fabrics or textiles cannot compete with the cheap ones from China. So we have to understand that. Now, exploration is very risky. Let me repeat, it is barely anything more than 5%, chance of success. You can go and put, like BP, they went and spent, my lecturer told me when we went down there, they went and spent $200 million to look for oil in China. They didn't find it, they walked away. Do you understand that? So, if you want to do it, you have to make sure that you have the right environment.
Help me with something. Help me with something.
So that is what I want people to
help
understand.
Me with something.
Yes.
You have made this point severally, and today you've made the same point.
Yes.
Okay. That us investing in the Geological Survey Department or Authority
is crucial.
It's crucial. It's the way to go. In fact,
it is the way to go because then that is how you can take advantage of the competitive bidding where everybody is talking about.
So that's exactly the point.
Yes, because you need data.
That you have made this point.
Yes.
Yes. And I think that's one of the advantages that GMPC even has. That for many people who came earlier on, they had to rely on data that GMPC had and all that.
Yes.
Now, so you have made this point. Now, how much, from where you sit, how much do we need to be investing in geological survey? Where we are now, we need to be investing in geological survey every year to be able
to do that.
To do that. Let's say if we decided that in the next 5 years, we want to have our own set of data in the next 5 years. How much should Ghana be investing in the geological survey?
So I'll take it from this angle.
Okay.
First, the quality of staff is crucial. You need top-notch geologists to do exploration. So you must pay them well.
Yes.
So resourcing the institution and making sure that their conditions of service are good is number one. Or else, 2-3 years, they will come and then they will leave for their mines. Do you understand that? It's the same thing. If you don't resource the Minerals Commission, you will not be able to retain the kind of people you have there. Today, we even attract people from the mines to come and work at Minerals Commission. So the whole institution must be resourced. Okay? That is number one. Well-paid staff, comparable to what is obtained somewhere. I mean, if you are paying somebody 1 cedi at geological, somebody is taking 2 cedis at the mine, it doesn't mean that you should pay 2 cedis at geological survey. But something good, training, and that's number one. Okay? Then number two, you need to give them the tools to work. It's all technology now. I'm very happy that they have just gotten a new rig. Government has gotten them a new rig, which I think in the next week or two, it will be outdoor. A new one, so that they can use it for drilling. They can even rent it out and get money. So in terms of equipment and all these things, they need that. That will have to be done. Something has started. At least I know of the rig. So that is a kudos and that is a plus. We will need to do something like, let's say, about their condition of service so that they can attract the right caliber of geologists to do their work. Because quality is everything. Then, what we need to now do is that we need to ask ourselves, what minerals are strategic for us? Clearly, our nightmare, our headache now is how to get a place for some. I've been telling you this, that the biggest issue, biggest challenge for small scale mining is getting a place for them to work. That is the number one problem. So it means that we need to give them money to start exploring all these blocks that Minerals Commission have designated for small scale. That's one. And then we also have to identify certain minerals that we think is critical, looking at what is happening globally and locally. So maybe we need some money for lithium, for graphite, cobalt, clay, and other minerals. Anything between $5 and $10 million every year, CD equivalent, to be given to them to explore.
In the next 5 years.
Yeah, you don't need a $15 million. Hey, somebody will say in account.
So how much do we get directly? I'm not talking about indirect. As a state, how much do we get directly from the extractive sector?
How much we get directly? Oh, that is
from taxes, royalties.
That is a loaded question. So, for instance. And then again, if you look at it that way, that may be myopic, but I'll answer that.
Yes.
I think 2 years ago, if you look at everything put together to the Republic, that's close to about, let's say, $1 billion.
$1 billion.
Yeah, that is if you look at
dollars or cedis.
Dollars. Okay. So if you look at, let's say, the royalties, okay, which was paid, which until recently it goes to GRA, but now MIF. You look at corporate taxes, you look at all the various taxes they pay, withholding and all those things put together. We have those data. It's close about that. You understand that? Similar amount is spent by the companies just on contract mining. Listen carefully and listen to the analysis. Other than that, we'll miss the point. It's not everything that will have to go to the state. Because you see, if practically less money goes to the state and everybody is employed, okay, and gainfully employed and happy, the state and we are all okay. I'm saying that close to about $1 billion is the total receipts that government gets. Royalties, corporate tax, withholding tax, all those things put together.
$1 billion.
About $1 billion. Okay. The last data I have, I'll check the 2022 and give it to you. I think this is about 2021. Now, there are about 50 items on the procurement list which mining companies are supposed to procure, okay, or take into consideration when they are doing it. Some of them are totally preserved for Ghanaians. So, for example, contract mining, which by far attracts the biggest, open pit is reserved for Ghanaians. And the underground, you have to do a JV with a Ghanaian.
There's a reason why I asked the question.
I'm coming to that. So here you are, 2022, my report, which I intend to discuss maybe the next 2 weeks, because next week we still have to discuss this mining environment. 2022, $912 million was spent on contract mining alone. There are about 4 new mines coming up, so we're going to cross $1 billion. I've not mentioned 50 as in just one. The same amount of money was received by government in receipts. So it tells you that the companies spend about 3, 4, perhaps 5 times more on procuring goods and services than they pay to government. So you need to design your policies and your, your program in such a way that you capture that. So if you get 1 billion and 3, 4 billion goes out for goods and services, you've still lost it. If, let's say, all the mines are owned by Ghanaians, okay? All the mines are owned by Ghanaians. Let's say 100% Ghanaians. Let's say what is owned by Newmont, Goldfields, Ashanti today are owned by Ghanaians. And then because we don't have the technology or whatever, you bring in people to come and do all those things. And many of the services and technology have to come from outside. And you receipt here and you get, let's say, 2 billion receipts. You still have about 3, 4, 5 billion going outside in terms of support services. So people are only looking at taxes and royalties. They are oblivious to the billions that are spent, daily for various inputs and services.
So let me tell you why I asked you the question. Why I asked you that question was that I was trying to do a cost-benefit analysis with respect to this country investing in geological survey for exploration purposes. Because the point has been made that because we expect companies, we don't want to invest, and we expect companies to take the risk to come and spend on exploration. That is the reason why we sometimes have to enter into some of those contracts that we enter into. And that if we were doing our own exploration and we had the data and they were just coming for the data, we could then make some of those demands
Randy,
that people are asking for.
Randy,
yes,
you have made my day end the program.
Yes.
It's over. That is precisely the answer.
Yeah, so
let me hop on it. Let me tell you.
Hold on 1 minute.
No, just get a second.
Hold on 1 minute.
That is it.
Hold on 1 minute. So that's why I asked you how much. I asked you for how much we get. So I was just looking at the $1 billion. The $1 billion.
Let's say put together.
Yes, the $1 billion. And then I realized that $10 million
a year
is just 1% of $1 billion. $10 million. It's just 1% of $1 billion. So it definitely is a no-brainer. If investing 1% of your receipts from the extractive sector into exploration to help you be able to ask for better and more in the contracts that you sign, it's obviously a no-brainer.
So I'm saying that for 34 years, this was not done.
Yes.
And perhaps the large scale, because it is more regulated, the small scale, you see the way the thing is blowing on our face.
Yes.
So people get up, they go to the water body. They get up, they go into the forest reserve. They get up, they dig everywhere. So that is the answer. Because if you tell me go competitive building, like Sofa Akufi was saying, like Institute of Economic Affairs was saying, the lobbies and all, everybody is saying that, oh, we should be looking at competitive building. Where is the data?
But are they not? Are they not?
Where is the data? So it is now that governments after going, because Randy, I can tell you the reason.
Yes.
You see, 1989, 1990, 1992, 1998, if you go and tell government, I need just $3 million CD equivalent, or even 1 million, even if we can give geological survey just even $1 million and say, go and look for limestone, clay, tack, etc. Maybe in Oti part of Ashanti. It's wonderful. You know something? When you tell government that years back, he says, oh, people are drinking polluted water. We have Guinea worm to grapple with. I'm talking to what we've done to ourselves for the past, 30 years. Oh, I need to build schools. You understand? So now listen to them. This thing even barely has 5% chance of success. So school, water, and other social amenities and infrastructure will trump that. It is not easy. You understand? So that has been always the thinking. Until this small scale thing started, creating problems for us and eating us. And then we started telling government after government that, if you like, unless you are prepared to spend money to do geological investigation, forget about it. You'll still be going around in circles and all those things. So that's what we are saying. That is it. Right now, people are looking, all these rich men in Ghana. If you tell them, people can count $5 million, $1 million, even 500,000 in it. I feel ashamed. I see quarterly returns or reports of companies listed on stock exchange in Toronto, London, Australia, or even where you have many of the listed companies for exploration in Vancouver. They go and raise sometimes $500,000. Okay? They drill a few holes, the resource is looking good, they file these things under those international way of reporting exploration resource. And then they raise $200,000, $500,000, $600,000. Bring it here, come and spend, do some work, go back again and raise more money. Okay? What is preventing us from giving it? So what? And then, so after having discussions with the select committee of parliament, both sides understand. And I don't want us to do politics with this because it's about Ghana. It's not NDC, MPP.
Yeah.
Every NDC parliamentarian, every MPP parliamentarian, those in the select committee of mines and energy, they are the most supportive select committee I've ever encountered. They said, you are making sense to us. So don't come to parliament without a budget that has not got a provision for geological survey, for mineral exploration. Thankfully, this budget they are discussing, there are a lot of millions in there to support geological survey for exploration.
How much?
If I remember, about 10-15 million
dollars.
Not dollars.
Cedis.
Cedis on our side. I'm yet to get a figure for geological survey.
Okay.
It's fine. Okay, because and that is even for small scale.
That's chicken feed.
No, it is not. Randy, it is not.
It's pretending and doing something.
No.
When we need to take the bull by
that
the
is a
horn.
mistake you are making.
When we need to take the bull by the horn.
You know, government has bought a rig for geological survey. Okay, those rigs cost about $4-5 million. Now everybody understands because the thing is staring at us. If you're not careful, we will start digging cemeteries. You see, look at the price of gold today. So that is one test I want you to understand. So if you want us to use competitive bidding, which is already in the law, if you look at regulation 257 and 258, LI 2176, it is there that we can use competitive bidding under certain circumstances. But if you invite people to go to the data room for those blocks you are purporting to give out for competitive building, there's nothing for them to look at.
Yeah.
So Equatorial Guinea, let me repeat. And sometimes, if you cannot get the money for geological survey, you don't need to raise the money for geological survey. So let me give you the best example. Equatorial Guinea, they were approached by a company, I think from Europe, and said, you know something? Give me the opportunity to do the mapping and the surveying, everything for you, at no cost to you. We'll do it. We'll fund it. We'll do the exploration, generate the data. I'm talking about the oil and gas. We'll generate the data, everything, and then bring you the results. Okay? So they did that. So when you go to Equatorial Guinea, they will tell you, oh, okay, go and buy the data. They'll take it, you have to buy the data first. And then now you come and sit with them and negotiate. Now, look at the outcome of the results. They have data now, so they know what is there. So they can negotiate what? Better and dictate the terms. That's how Equatorial Guinea is tough on the terms like that. So you buy the data, and that will pay off the company. You understand that? That has done the work. And then at the end of the day, you split the rest 50-50. They went to Morocco. I hear they came to Ghana some time ago. So if we are struggling to raise money for geological survey, that is not the end of the world. No, I'm not. No, because there's no time. We can also look at the opportunity, and a lot of people have approached us. So somebody can approach us and say, okay, give me the Volta Basin. I'm going to spend about $50 million. And of course, they'll bring work program. We are also not stupid. We have top-notch geologists. They'll look at it and know that, yes, this indeed is worth so much. You sign off. They do the work. They generate the data. And then you can now, sell to people, do competitive building, and then now you can say that, look, this block, 50% is for the state. Come and pay for the data, spend your money. In the event we give you mining lease, 50% automatically is for the state. Okay. And then sometimes too, you can also negotiate better if you are very well endowed. It's important, and as called that Randy, before we leave, geological risk and reward is everything. Geology trumps everything. Then you look at maybe governance, political, this is part of the political and macroeconomics and all those things. So take a country like Botswana, the biggest producer of diamonds by value. The arrangement DBS has with the government of Botswana on those three big diamond mines, like Letlhakane, Huani, and Orapa, is 50-50. I think they got into that later on in life. They didn't start that way. So sometimes when people say, oh, look at Bolivia, lithium, look at Chile, look at Argentina and co, I roundly dismiss that and say, you don't know what you're talking about. Do you expect us to have the same regime like Nigeria for oil? Do you? I'm asking that question. And do you want Nigeria to behave like Saudi Arabia? So geology is everything. The more endowed you are, the better. And these days I'm saying technology.
Like they say, monkeys play by sizes.
Monkeys play by sizes. Right. So people should stop saying that, oh, we should have asked them to pay maybe 20% royalty. Even Chile, that has 40% of the world's reserve for lithium. They have 8 to 26. Okay, based on a certain margin. So it is even possible that many of them may even be paying less than 10% because they are also looking at the margins and all those things. So this education, and I love this program, this education must continue for people to understand that if you want better terms, then generate the data. If you want to generate the data, give the money to geological survey or allow people to come in and do it. You sell the data and you can negotiate better. Okay. But an activity that has barely 5% chance of success, somebody should not come and sit here, you sit down, you don't do anything. 6-7 years, he spends $50 million, and then you get up and say you should pay 30% royalty. In any case, when you do that, everybody will go to Mali. Everybody will go to DRC that have better reserves. And then you have to decide that, okay, then I'll let Geological Survey do it, and then we'll go and raise the money. But no Ghanaian will even like to pay 20% royalty. He will also go to another country. So this public education, as to how money works, people must understand it. Next week we'll continue.
Yeah.
Yes. And then we'll talk about value addition.
Right.
Because you need between 8 to 10 tons of the concentrate to produce 1 ton of the carbonate or hydroxide. So that is what you be looking at that.
So next week, let's continue and wrap up on what we need to do.
The investment climate
in order
for mining.
to be able to ask for more.
Yes.
All right. So we'll continue that next week.
And then my favorite example, even though I've not been there before, even if you are going to a Ashawo line, unless that lady there is your customer, you even go and look around. What does that tell you? That's how mining works.
How do you know if you
I've been seeing it when I'm driving past. People walking around.
What obviously happens.
It is just to tell you that if you sit here and think that we have gold, number 6 in the world, the biggest in Africa. This is Randy. We have the highest cost of exploration for gold in Africa. Okay. Why?
So next week you tell us why. You tell us
why? Because of the VAT on exploration.
No, I'm saying you tell us. You will give us why we are.
That is what we need to do.
Yes. So we'll look at all that.
Yes.
All right. So thanks, Martin. Thanks for joining me, and I enjoyed it as always. Thank you. I'm sure that our viewers also have enjoyed the show. So next week we're continuing on this one before we get into value addition, and he's raised an extremely important issue. We'll look at how come it costs so much to mine here. So we'll look at the data from other mining jurisdictions, and then we'll look at the things that go into the cost of mining in Ghana and why we are more expensive than others. So these are things that on the face of it we don't seem to know, but we need to deal with all these issues. So up next, Metro Sports. Enjoy the rest of your day.